is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning with all of you out there. Welcome to another installment of 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel wherever you may be. We thank you all for tuning in on this glorious Saturday morning with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. There's all kinds of happenings in the world of sports right now. Ed, you've got baseball in full swing. The NBA draft is in the books. We've got USA field hockey going on behind us here at the training center in the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. And look at our nice banner up behind it. You got Dickie V. We want to wish Dickie V all the best, by the way. Get well soon, Dickie V. I know he's got the serious cancer going on and procedure coming up. And your Wins towel in the background. Good to be back in our palatial studio. How you been? Good week?
Good week. Anytime you're above ground, walking around, waking up, it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, we're back in the palatial studios here. We got to do some moving around of the palatios.
Palacios.
Yeah, we got to thank Mr. Jack Lau.
Jack Lowe. Lowe.
Is it Lau or Lowe?
It's Lowe. You're getting Brendan Lowe and Brendan Lau confused. It's Lowe.
Oh.
Sweet and Low.
Okay.
He's our producer, engineer extraordinaire.
Yeah, he's
working hard.
Now making some
Western
big
Branch
bucks.
grad, I do believe. He's now graduated from Western Branch High School in Chesapeake. He was one of the kids a few years ago that was in the crowd chanting "Sweat Ed Sweat, Sweat Ed Sweat."
Yeah, I remember he threw a water balloon at me at halftime.
Good. It's a great job. Did he hit you?
I don't know if it was sweat or it was the water.
I told him to aim right for the kisser. I don't know if he got you or not.
Yeah,
came close.
That was when Jack was young and foolish. Now he's just foolish.
Okay. You're still young though. You're still Ed
forever,
young, even though you're old in my opinion. I think
forever,
forever young.
Hey, hold on. Did Florida win the?
They did. Are you just now looking at the ticker? It happened 4 days ago. Where are you better? 5 days ago.
Just want to make sure.
You didn't watch the great Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart score goals, and how about Sergei Bobrovsky?
Yeah,
what a job he did, bouncing back after for 3 games they were outscored 18-5. Were the Florida Panthers by Edmonton, and then they respond. And you know what's weird? The NHL Stanley Cup had more drama than the NBA Finals. And I'm saying that wearing a Utah Jazz jersey today because we haven't seen the finals in, I say we, in so many years since the glory days of Malone and Stockton. And I'm a little upset they're giving Kyle Filipowski a Malone 32 jersey, which I'm wearing today. Hold on, Filipowski. You got to earn that. You don't get that. You got to earn that, my man. I know he slipped late in the draft to them out of Duke, but it used to be, Ed, that the NHL would be a little ahead of the NBA. If you remember going back to that 94, the year where New York had the Knicks and the Rangers both playing for championships, both went to Game 7. The Knicks lost in Clutch City in Houston against Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets, Game 6 and Game 7. Rangers pulled it out against Vancouver after losing a Game 5. A Game 6 in Vancouver won it in Game number 7 with Mark Messier at the forefront of their title. But now it's the NBA a little ahead of the NHL. As those two sports are put to bed, NBA draft in the books, and I'm sure you have lots of opinions. We teased it the other day. I can't believe this, Jack. And for all you viewers out there, loyal listeners, viewers from our radio turn to podcast days as we come up on our 1-year anniversary of this wonderful podcast with the great folks at Cova Sports TV and Hometown Sports Productions. Ed Young actually believes, ladies and gents, not only does he believe that OG Anunoby got too much money at $200+ million, which I won't debate that with him, but he also believes that Zach Edey going 9th overall to the Memphis Grizzlies was a good pick, which I think you are absolutely insane about. Not a chance in the world is this a good pick. The guy can't move defensively. I know he's a 2-time National Player of the Year. He's a great college player. But let me fill you all in on something, folks. Just because you're a great college player does not mean you translate to the NBA. And I'll give you one better. Not only is Donovan Clingan a better pro as he got picked higher than him in a draft by Portland at 7th overall, 2-time national champ from UConn, who was the backup to Sonogo on the first title, starting center to second title, and he made, Edey have to work in that second half. But I'll give you the guy from Indiana, Khalil Ware, will be a better pro than Zach Edey. why on earth do you think Kristen Peak, who works for us at Rivals, don't you dare say who Kristen Peak is. She works for us at Rivals Yahoo Sports. Only grade she gave a D was to the Grizzlies. How's that going to work out with Jaren Jackson and him? And you said on our video that he's going to get a double-double by his 5th career game. Let's put $100,000 on that. I already got $100,000 out. Let's do it. Go ahead. There's no chance on earth he gets a double-double by his 5th game. There's not a chance he starts. No way. Go ahead. Let me hear why you think he's a great pick at 9.
Preposterous talk by you on everything you just mentioned.
No, you're nuts.
You and who's the person? Peak? Who's the person you said from Rivals? I don't want to disrespect her. Is it a her? I don't. Who is the person? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
Kristen Peak.
Okay.
No, don't make fun.
All of you drinking the Kool-Aid. The big fella will have a place in the NBA. I'm not so sure Memphis is the type of team, because Memphis is an up and down team with Morant and that's their going to be their success. With him, you're going to have to slow it down a little bit. You're going to have to get him inside. Yes, he's going to have trouble going out and cover the big centers that like to go out and shoot. And until they show me they can really hit shots, I'd rather have the big fellas out there shooting all they want. He is going to be a serviceable pro. I don't know if he's going to be all-star status.
No.
You're not that good, that mobile. He's gotten better every year that he's played.
Wait, you just said serviceable pro. So let me stop you there before you continue on. Is a serviceable pro worth taking 9th overall in the draft?
Absolutely.
Why?
This draft that we just had, absolutely. The entire draft was a crapshoot. The whole thing from 1 to 57.
That's somewhat fair.
So, and I'm not saying that so much in a negative way. Anybody, even those second-round guys, can jump up and be somebody. It's just it wasn't what I always call powerful draft. You draft either for need or on potential. I don't know if Tyus is more of a need or the potential, because you'll see some teams are going back to the big style, post up, throw it inside centers. There's still a spot for those type of players. And I just think when you're the National Player of the Year 2 years in a row, it's not a gamble pick by no stretch of imagination. It's not a gamble pick. And I think he's going to be all right. When I say serviceable, it means he belongs. He's going to have some great games, and it could be a double-figure career, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. I definitely believe that. And I think too many people just want to bash him because everybody else has. I'm a little surprised the kid from NC State, DJ Burns, didn't get a second-round pickup by somebody. Of course, he'll be a free agent. I think his game.
No, he got signed, but I didn't see him as a pro. I think he had some baggage, and the weight was a little bit of. Although he did lose some weight, I think that was a bit.
Well, if he wants to get paid, he'll have to lose that weight.
Yeah.
But again, and then of course, the big elephant in the room.
Cavs signed him to the summer league team, by the way.
Who was it?
The Cavs signed him as well as Mo Diarra and DJ Horn, his NC State teammate, DJ Horn.
And the kid that we liked at the PIT. Freeland from Akron got drafted.
Oh, no, Enrique Mas. We love him. He might have been one of only a couple PIT guys taken. We love him. I think he'll do well in the second round.
And, of course,
speaking of second round, what'd you think of Bronny? Are you among the – and, by the way, I have not heard the word nepotism more in the last 24 to 48 hours in my entire life. And I'm not that upset about it, because here's my thing. Did I think he deserved to go second round? No. But there's a lot of guys that you see in this draft that are not great. And then secondly to that, nepotism does exist in all walks. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, I get all that. And do I think the guy Boogie Ellis was on his team maybe is? Yeah, but Boogie is also flawed too. It's not that egregious. I'm not as bothered by it. I knew it was coming. I had a feeling it was coming. Look, the Lakers hired J.J. Redick, who I think is, I'll say it on this podcast, scum of the earth the way he entered his press conference, and I just don't think, even though he's a Cave Spring grad from our state of Virginia, I don't think he was a good hire. He was not their first choice, obviously, as they took an interview with Hurley, and he turned him down from UConn. But I'm not that moved by it, because it was a second-round pick. Could there have been better second-round picks? Yeah, it doesn't bother me, and I don't think I'm not going to go crazy and say, this is such a great story. And he has overcome a heart issue, that had him come off the bench. We don't know if he was going to play again. It doesn't bother me, disrupt me to a point, nor do I think it's the greatest thing ever. And by the way, father-son have played before in sports. Do the Griffies come to mind? So this isn't like the first time it's ever happened in the history of sports.
Well, they didn't say sports. They just said NBA.
I know, NBA. It is a neat story. LeBron's story. Okay, wonderful. That's great.
Yeah, I was going to blow up on this probably a few weeks ago. I didn't think he was a draft-worthy player based on his stats. The other thing is, I know he did a great job on the skill testing at the combine, but also at the combine it was let the world know that he's 6'1". He's not 6'4" as he's been advertised. And okay, people say it's not a big deal. Well, it is. At 6'1", that's an extremely small point guard in the NBA. You got to be tremendous at something at 6'1". I don't think he's tremendous at anything. They say he's more of a two guard. Okay, he doesn't have a drop down shot, and at 6'1", he's going to have a tough time getting shots off. They say his best attribute, he's a driver, especially going to his left. Okay, but he's going to be driving on people a little bit more bigger, physical, quicker than what he did at 1 year at Southern Cal. Yes, everybody has said if his last name wasn't James, would we be talking about him? And the answer to that is easy, no. And he would not have been drafted. But because it is James, we are. I have no problem with it. Lakers think that that's who they want at 55. Take who you want at 55. Me personally, I would probably try to tell the organization, look, we don't think anybody else is going to draft him because his agent told everybody, don't draft him or he's going to Australia or wherever.
Yeah, Bob Myers said that on the TV broadcast.
Right. So,
and by the way, some of these analysts just they're gushing about him. They're phonies and frauds, which you are to a degree too. With some of your opinions, come on, Zach Edey, you know better than that.
No, he's going to be good.
No, he's not. He's not. He is not in the NBA. Maybe in another league, not in the NBA. He'll be in the G League before you know it.
Well, and again, Bronny not signing a 2-way contract is crazy. I think he needs some G League in him. And here's the thing I'm looking at that some people talked about. You're bringing this kid in. His dad is one of the greatest of all time. Some people think the greatest. What happens if he's not one of the best 11, 12 on the team? Do you automatically ship him out? Or because of LeBron, we kind of got to keep him because we didn't sign him to a 2-year. And then the idea of he's in the locker room as the youngest kid in the locker room with other players, let alone his dad. How are they going to totally embrace and accept him? And there's going to be people looking at him, players looking at him and saying, oh, you're the prodigal son. Truly the prodigal son. Ain't nothing you can do wrong because they ain't cutting you not as long as your dad's here. Is that going to hurt his relationship with players? Now, a lot of the players, Anthony Davis was one of them, apparently have said they're glad he got picked and all that. But then again, what player's going to come out and say, this is a dumb pick, I don't look for him to be my teammate, he's not going to help? Nobody's going to say that. But it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic works. I hope the kid does great. He is a tremendous athlete. I hope that helps him get better in his skills to play. And I don't really have a problem with them drafting him. I would have taken him as a free agent. I would have taken somebody else at 55, maybe a more pick we need. And we're going to get him anyway, so let's just take him as a free agent. Now, I know I told that to somebody else, and they said to me, well, why don't you take whoever you're going to pick at 55 as a free agent and take Bronny at 55 like they did? Everybody to each their own. But, no, I'm not tremendously angry at it, and it seems like either you're really for it or you're 1,000% against it. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, let's see what he does. You're allowed to draft whoever you want to draft. Remember back in the day when the draft was more than 2 rounds, the late rounds they would pick. I remember Dave Winfield got picked by, I think Atlanta Hawks. Was it?
I think that's right.
Some soccer guys got picked. Whatever. They would just pick whoever.
That was when the draft had more than 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think it was 7 rounds when they had it.
2 rounds.
Which I also think the draft should be more than 2 rounds. But that's a whole other story.
Why?
The opportunity to get more players in the league.
Way, you're right. 73 draft, 5th round by the Atlanta Hawks, and also the ABA draft, 6th round by the Utah Stars.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Winfield played in college at University of Minnesota. He was not bad. He was one of the few they said could have played.
Good
football.
job bringing that out of memory bank. Nice work.
Yeah, he could have played NFL also in that. So, but again, let's just let Bronny go. And that'll be the big story. Will be the Summer League in Vegas. Can you imagine his first game at the Summer League in Vegas will be completely sold out. And that gym is not very big where they play.
No.
So it's going to be amazing. I had the opportunity to see Summer League a few years ago, NBA Summer League. And it's amazing how
I've
a
never
lot of
been.
people
I need
tend
to go. People say I need to go. I've never been out there.
Oh, you'd love it. You've never been to Vegas. Oh, you'd love it.
I've been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas Summer League.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Summer League, it's some good basketball to watch.
2004 or 5 I went to Vegas. It's been that long, about 20 years.
They put a lot of effort into that, and the players really go at it. It's good to watch. It's just the problem is when they play at the University, UNLV, but they also play in a back gym. It seats about 500 people, and it's always standing room out the door. They even do the TV of it so that you can see it outside or wherever. So it's big, but the draft's over. Now the next part of the NBA will be free agency. Let's see what happens in free agency.
Yeah, I think the ones that hit out of the park, I like what San Antonio did getting Castle from UConn. I think he's a tremendous pick. I think Klingon will do well with Portland, even though they have the second worst coach in the NBA, and Chauncey Billups, in my estimation, only behind J.J.
You're killing Chauncey Billups, man.
I mean, look at the guy's record. Pull it up. Jack can look it up for me. What is Chauncey Billups' coaching record in 3 seasons?
It's definitely under 500.
It's bad. It is bad. When you get that, Jack, put it up on the screen for it. It's terrible. It is just, it's egregious. But I like Klingon. I think he'll do well.
I love Klingon. Great pick.
Spurs with a good pick there. Dalton connect with the Lakers. Even though I'm not crazy with JJ the Lakers, I think he's going to be a better Austin Reeves for them. I think. And we heard there was some learning issues why he slipped. Some people wondering he would be a top 10 pick. That was why he might fall out of the top 10 of the draft. And by the way, there you go. Thank you, Jack. 75 and 143 for Chauncey Billups. Yeah. How's that guy keeping his job? But we get rid of Monty Williams. We get rid of Frank Vogel. We get rid of J.B. Bickerstaff. Chauncey, well, because the expectations aren't great. Expectations, schmectations. Spell that one, Ed. Smectations.
You got to give a guy 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he's gotten 3 years. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Get him out of there. And no, I'm not bitter because he beat Malone and the Lakers in the finals about 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's
people say that's why I'm bitter. No, I just don't think he's a great coach. That record just told you. And he blew a 20-something point lead against the Pistons at home in February. I know about that for other reasons, not here on the show. Other than that, I'd say, and by the way, Jared McCain, he's a strange cat, by the way, for the Philadelphia 76ers. His TikToks and all the things, he's a little different. We'll see how he fits in there. He can shoot the basketball, though, I'll say that. As different as he is, he can shoot the basketball. Not many. I think Ryan Dunn will actually be a pretty good late first-round guy from UVA. I think he's better than some realize going to the Suns on a trade with Denver. I think he'll have a solid career. Maybe not a – he should have gone higher than Zach Edey. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Edward.
Yeah,
you don't even know who Ryan Dunn plays for, do you?
There's no need.
Who's he play for? Who he play for? University of Virginia. Jack Lowe's right. Cavaliers. Yeah.
And he's
not DeAndre.
I heard that he was considered one of the best, if not the best, perimeter defenders in the league.
Okay, he is. He did do his homework. I got to shut up now.
Yeah, so that's not bad. But
good job.
If I have a choice between one of them two, all day long, give me Zach Edey.
You'll be fired, just like Monty and J.B. Bickerstaff and all those other guys. The Memphis people are going to be out of jobs.
How about Detroit? Really did a bad job with Monty Williams. Gave him 1 year with that.
I told you why the Pistons messed up. They did after Game 2 of the Finals in Phoenix. Our buddy Taft Tickman, who I'm sure may be watching the show, former Kempsville coach, he flew him out there. They didn't fly Taft to Milwaukee, and the rest is history. They should have took Taft to Milwaukee, Detroit. Monty had been in good shape. He didn't bring his good luck charm. Former high school coach Taft Tickman. You got to take care of the former high school coaches. You know that better than anybody.
And Frank Vogel wins the NBA title, is out of a job.
Yeah, it just tells you it's what have you done for me lately.
And the Lakers hire a doggone plumber fireman as a coach. That's unbelievable.
Plumber fireman? Oh, you're calling him a plumber fireman now.
JJ, that's what he was when he played.
Yeah, he was a plumber. 12 points a game, right?
I give him all the credit in the world. He lasted, 15 years in NBA?
He did.
That's tremendous, all
good
that.
career.
But that comment about, that's why I don't want to see him do well. It's not that I'm mad they picked him with no coaching experience, even though that does bother me as a coach myself, when there's so many guys out there who I would think would be more deserving. Frank Vogel, right off the bat, to get that job. Of course, the Lakers fired him, so not bringing him back, obviously. But remains to be seen. How about the pressure for J.J. Redick? You're getting the job under duress where a lot of people say you don't deserve it. No experience, and I don't want to hear that fourth grade He coached fourth grade one time. Take that out of there.
Yeah, take that out of there.
Okay,
I coach rec league. I'm 2-0
right.
in rec league, by the way.
Right.
Girls basketball, 2-0, Jack. 2-0, undefeated.
Right.
Better win percentage than Ed Young. Go ahead.
You can't have all that in there. But that locker room, those egos in that town, good luck. And a guy in front of you who won a title there got fired. So I don't know what can JJ do that's going to be great, that he'll keep the job. That is going to be interesting to watch. Not so much how many games they win or lose. It's just the dynamics of putting that together. Now, it's going to be contingent on who his staff is. And I keep hearing that the number one guy projected, Scotty Brooks, a former head coach in the league, and who's been, I think he's over 500 record, as his assistant, and then trying to get like a Rajon Rondo. I'm not so sure that's a great assistant pickup. I'm not so sure. Sam Cassell would be a home run.
What's your issue with Rajon Rondo? He's a very quiet, reserved, but smart guy. I wouldn't sell him short. I think he'll do all right.
I don't.
And he's not as arrogant, egotistical, and smug as JJ Redick.
I just don't project him as an assistant. Now, if he is going to be coaching, NBA would be for him, not a college coach.
Right.
But I remember him as a player, and again, he's a good player, but there were times he was kind of standoffish, kind of, and that altercation where supposedly he spit on.
It's in the past. Charles Barkley threw someone out of a glass window one time, and he's a swell dude.
You cannot bother heavy people when they're eating.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah, no. There have been many times I want to throw somebody through the glass window when I'm eating.
Probably
Not that they're asking me for autographs or whatever,
Probably
but a couple of waiters I'd like to send through. But I'm a calm guy. I don't get excited. Okay. As long as you don't mess with my food, I'm okay.
All right.
And there have been times we go out to eat, and many times I'd like to see you thrown through a glass window because
he always wishes bodily harm upon me. I don't wish any bad things to happen to you. You've already had enough bad things in your life. Why would I wish bad upon you? I just want to live my life, get in the swimming pool, and have a good time. That's all I want.
And speaking of the swimming pool stuff, you're scaring a lot of kids with them pool shenanigans. You might have to give it up. People, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure we're going to see it coming up here soon.
You're going to see it, trust me. If you stay with us long enough. That's the big key. And by the way, we need more of our viewers and subscribers. For some reason, where our Cova Sports TV Facebook is not, where our YouTube's working, our Virginia Beach Sports PLEX and Regional Training Center Facebooks are working too. But for some reason, the Facebook, we need to get those subscribers up.
We need more people. We need more people to chime in there. The show has been climbing crazy. The last stats I saw were number 3 in the state. I don't know what the other two.
We were 2. What made us drop? You did something wrong, apparently.
Well, again, a lot of it. I talked to a lot of people, and I try to vouch for you, but a lot of people just say that Hatfield sucks. But I try to tell him he does a good job.
You must have been that comment guy we blocked about 20 minutes ago. Go ahead.
I don't know, but I do try to defend you. I said no, he's good for the show because it helps. He helps. He does a lot of good work, and I try to defend you. But a lot of times you do suck. But we'll keep you here.
He's already said he wants to throw me through a window. I suck? Man.
Well, one thing about me, most people know, I'm going to tell like it is.
I was trying to get you another coaching job as your agent on the side. Now I'm starting to wonder if you deserve that.
You're the one who got me fired from the last
I didn't get you fired. That wasn't me.
But
don't
worry. Don't worry.
You didn't go 20-2 in the Southeastern District with state tournament teams like Kings Fork and Oscar Smith. That's a bad job by you.
Yep.
Blame Vinny over there.
Yep. I got my man with me, my lawyer agent. He's with me. Don't talk much. And he's got an eye on problems. And if you look at where he's looking right now, he knows where problems are. So my man is there.
You got Vinny. I got Randy Johnson. There you go.
This is why they don't pay me enough to work under these kind of conditions. Vinny, can you go check with somebody about money? Thank you.
Anyways, as you see on our screen, we got coming up in just a little bit. We will be
Super E.
Yeah, Super E, the great Super E, will join us here on the program. So we're looking forward to that. Seven Cities Pro-Am coming up. I believe it's at Norview High School. It's been at different venues. Yep, he's giving me the thumbs up. So it's going to be at Norview High School. He'll tell you about the breakdown. He and James Flood, the brainchild of it, James Flood, who for many, many years has done just a superb job putting this together, getting all the different pros and players from the 757 going out there. They do a tremendous job with that. That's coming up on Sunday, the beginning of that event. You need to get out to their Pro-Am, Ed. Go back to your old stomping grounds in Norview.
I will be making an appearance there for sure.
All right,
I want to see.
Hold you to that.
I want to see the guys coming back that I saw once upon a time. I want to see them guys come back and play.
How many of your former guys? We'll ask this to Super E as he's watching. I know B.J. Jenkins has played in it before, who you coached at Green Run. I'm pretty sure Shannon Evans played in it once or twice. I don't think Andre Jones has been back because he's been overseas for a long time. Although he was watching us a couple weeks ago from whatever country he is, Italy, France, on Instagram. Dontrell Bright ever played in it? I'm not sure. I don't know if he has or has. I think he's nodding.
Dontrell did.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of guys that have played in the Pro-Am from your school, or played for you, I should say. That's coming up in just a bit. I think
Nick Wright. Nick Wright played.
I'm pretty sure Nick has Old Dominion, who is one of our favorites. Nick smiles more times in a day than Ed Young smiles in 10 years. That is a fact, by the way, ladies and gents.
Yeah,
he smiles more in a day than Ed Young does in 10 years. Greetings to you out there, Woodrow, who's watching us. We'll get to, by the way, Woody, for all you high school football nuts, kids, fans, coaches, players, I'm giving you my top 10 games later in the show. Ed's going to rate it, critique it, tell me why I'm wrong, what game I left out. He's already looked at it. I showed him a quick snapshot of it, and he already was like curmudgeon earlier. My top 10 games, we got your mailbag questions, too. You can always interact with us, send your questions. When we do the segment about once or twice a month through Facebook, IG, Twitter, X, all over the web, YouTube, email, too, at hatfieldsports@gmail.com. So that's coming up in a little bit. But go ahead. What were you going to say there before I cut you off?
No, Nick Wright right now can jump in the presidential race after Thursday's debacle and win.
Yes, he can. I vote for him over those two old schmucks. Good gracious.
I didn't even watch it.
I don't want to get to politics, but what in the world was that?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I might vote for you, Ed. Lord have mercy.
That was a train wreck. I'm officially declaring right now, right here, and it's going to make a lot of oldsters mad.
You might win independent ticket.
I will not be voting in this year's presidential election. I'll vote for everything else, but I'm not voting for president because I'm tired of giving my vote to the lesser of two evils. I know that's not the American way to do it.
But I'm not sure which is at this point between those two guys.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not doing it, and we all know who's going to win anyways. But
do we?
Yes. Okay. It's done. It's already done. The ballots have been counted. It's done.
All right.
But, Nick Wright could step in there right now just on smile alone.
But you can be his campaign manager. Nick Wright for president. We can start the campaign now. He might win.
I don't want that headache.
You don't want that headache?
His best candidate his best helper would be Sister Nikki.
Oh,
she'll get
Sister
votes.
Nikki, now she's something else.
She will get you. She will make you vote.
Yes, she will. She will make you vote.
Big Brother.
She'll make you vote.
Speaking of Shannon Evans, I saw him this week. He popped in the gym at Nan's River. I was there, and
they got rid of you, but they didn't ban you? You could still go in? That's nice to know.
I'm still cleaning out that office.
They didn't change the locks on you?
God, not yet. Climbed through one of the windows. So, I got so much stuff. Man, I was sitting around reading stories from games I don't even remember that we had years ago. I started reading those things before I knew it. I was there 2-3 hours, didn't do anything. 20 years worth of memories in there. And it's not, I'll joke about it, but it's not a joking matter when I'm looking at some of the players that made me look good over the years and some of the great games at Nan's River we had against some big-time teams. Like I saw the beach ball stuff when we lost
double overtime, Duncanville.
Yeah, to Duncanville. And then we won the other 3 games that we played right after against 3 pretty decent opponents. So a lot of memories there and looking at all that and have to box all that stuff up and move it out and see what maybe the next venture would be. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll take a timeout, come back with more here, including Super Eric Rogers. That's on the way here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our Cova Sports TV YouTube channel. We'll be back with Super E in just a moment after you hear from some of the sponsors that make it possible for us at the PLEX. Stay tuned.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Pain and Gain, your one-stop shop for all things field hockey. Located in Princess One Shopping Center, Virginia Beach, we carry everything you need on the turf, from black sticks, turf shoes, mouth guards, and much more. Try out your stick before you buy it in our synthetic turf area. Pain and Gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
I think that hit Ed Young's car, ladies and gents. It's not good. It's not good.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome back to 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel through Cova Sports TV. We're also streaming with you on VirginiaPreps.com, X, or some still call it Twitter, at 757 Sports Talk, IG, Hatfield Sports 2K4, on our Facebook channels as well. We have a special guest with us. You all know him. He's in so many gyms all across the country. I'm going to put his feet to the fire in a minute and ask how many games he's been to. He is known as Super E. Super Eric Rogers on X or Twitter, and he's also the right-hand man to James Flood with the Seven Cities Pro-Am, going out there on Sunday at Norview High School for that. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you,
What's
man.
up there, E, man?
And
Coach
Ed,
Young, how you doing this morning,
listen,
Coach?
Man, I'm okay, but I got to put up with this knucklehead. So
I wish we could find the tweet. If I can find it, I'm going to put it out there. That if we can get it on the screen, I wish I had prepared this, Jack. But E had the tweet of the year when he said he ran into Ed. This was during the MEAC tournament at Scope. More times to Ed in the last week in the hospitality room than he has in the last 5 years at big games. I was like, yep, Ed's been finding hospitality rooms. He's been first team all hospitality E 7 years in a row.
Hey, listen, at that point, I had seen Coach Ed. I had seen Coach Ed more than I seen you, Matt. So
wow.
We were all over the place, man. PIT, MEAC, state VHL, the high school state championships up in Richmond. Yeah, so I seen the coach everywhere. And look, and as my guy always says, the hospitality room is where I hang out, man. I got to have it, man.
see, I was going to say the only way you could see me in the hospitality room is you got to be there.
Yeah.
And the reason I walked in because I see E in there, and I figure if E's in there, it's a place to be. But there was no food left. In fact, the food that E had, I thought is where you picked from. That's how much food he had. And then he looked at me and said, man, he used some expletives and said, get your own.
No, he doesn't cuss.
So,
look, I tell you what, I turned into a hospitality junkie from my guy, Coach Frank. Keep getting well out there, Coach Frank.
Yes, we want to wish. That's Ed's initial radio co-host sidekick.
That's
way
the guy
before
that got
me
me in radio.
Yeah. Going back in
Coach Frank,
1991 when you were at Norview, Ed. Yeah, we wish Frank all the best on his road to recovery.
All the best. That's right. And I was maybe Kings Fork or somewhere one night. Man, nobody knows hospitality and high school concession stand food better than Coach Frank. So I just kept it going while Frank is on the men, and just keep getting well, Coach Frank.
Well, before we get to the Pro-Am and sort of its genesis, what's involved with it, who they'll see out there, I did mention, and you see, Ed, how much he loves basketball. He's got basketballs hanging up in his office there, which is, I think, more than you and I.
It's a little setup from left over from March Madness, and I just I just kept it up.
You're a diehard Georgetown Hoyas fan, so shout out
Yep.
to Jaden Epps from the 757, and we know
Shout out to the
Ivan
Hoyas.
Thomas was an assistant there. Ed's former
Yep.
pupil at Norview is now the head coach at Hampton University. But how many high school, college games do you go to a year? If you give us this is a real breakdown because you're all over the place. You probably go to more games than I do. And how many miles do you log a year? And I think we're going to give him a shout out. Our good mutual friend, NBA scout Lamar Barrett, put us both on the Amtrak, which I used coming back last week from Springfield, which is a shout out to him. It saves the hassle of the mileage. But how many games a year do you go to on average? Because you are traveling, my friend.
Well, first of all, Matt, that's not true.
What's not true?
Because look, if I'm out and I see you out, that means you're out too.
Well, but you go to probably more college games a year because I have to call some with Old Dominion women and occasionally the ODU men.
There you go. And then again, that's on the heels of the Pro-Am and just relationships that I've made over the years. You mentioned Lamar. Yeah, man, I get around. Okay, let's start like weekly, Matt. Let's say Monday, Tuesday, maybe 2 or 3 college games a week. And then, Friday a high school game, Tuesday or Monday a high school game here and there. That's just a junkie in me, man. And then, just trying to educate myself, spreading myself around a bunch of different conferences and then this also supporting a bunch of different players. I have friends on staffs, coaching everywhere. So and nowadays it's pretty easy to see a college game.
I'll let Ed jump in here to follow this one, E. For those that are watching this and they're saying, what is the Pro-Am? Take us to behind sort of the genesis of it, what the main objective or agenda is of it, and what they'll see when they come out there either this Sunday or the Sundays that follow that there at Norview High School in Norfolk.
Yeah, so in short, Matt, the NCAA sets guidelines each year of how much you can practice your Division I guys. It's not 10 to 12 hours a week. It's closer to 8 hours a week. And outside of that, you send your guys to a certified league, your Division I guys to a certified league like ours. And Flood has completed all the paperwork for that with the folks from Indianapolis, and we're back for season 18. You just mentioned Division I goes by these guidelines. Division II guys and Division III guys don't have to, they can play anywhere. It's basically the certification is for the Division I guys. So we've set that up, and we're back again.
There you have it. Super Eric Rogers, our guest. Give him a follow on Twitter or X at Super. There's the tweet. Look at this. I've seen Coach Ed Young in person over the last one. Great job by Jack researching that. I have, like me and Norfolk Knights always say, the hospitality room is the place to be. I love it. Look at that.
Look at the emojis behind it.
I love it. Look at that. There you go. We
got
to get Ed on. We got to get Ed on X or Twitter. He's still learning Instagram, but he's on Facebook, so we get him on there. I thought about creating a fake Ed Young, but he might sue me if I do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to Instagram myself, Matt. Last year the big Twitter that I run everything through got hacked somehow. So I started an Instagram, and I'm kind of glad I did because that's another way just to keep in touch with players and coaches and everything. Instagram is probably one of the biggest forms of social media. But my Twitter got hacked last year. Then I got it back. So I was like, okay, now I have Instagram and Twitter. So now I'm just can continue to pour stuff out.
Yep, I say the kids love the IG the most, the adults love the Facebook the most, and then the X or Twitter is kind of the melding pot of both. Ed?
Yeah, Twitter is great when you're in, you're live on set at a game. Mm-hmm. You can splash out a score, a thought, or anything. You can do that like really quickly through Twitter. So it's good when you're on site. Plus, a lot of these gyms and arenas, sometimes the Wi-Fi may be a little sketchy or what have you, but Twitter is, it can get a thought out real quick.
Go, John.
Hey, E, when you're setting up summer league stuff, the Pro-Am and that, do you go after players or do you talk to a lot of college coaches to get their players? How do you and James really go about doing it? You just present it, guys. Hopefully, guys will show. I'm sure you have guys get their own teams in there because I've heard a lot with Pro-Ams in different cities, and some places they're heavy with professional players, and some places aren't. There's some reasoning behind that. Some of the pro guys don't want to go against non-pro guys. But how do you do it?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great point there, Coach Ed. Some of our teams come packaged already. Some of our teams we put together through coordination with several of the local basketball offices, like, for instance, Norfolk State is sending 9 guys this year. And then it goes, ODU was back involved, and Virginia State, Hampton in the past. A lot of these teams we put together ourselves with the melting pot of guys. This year we've put together about 5 of our 8 teams, and 3 come packaged together. So yeah, that's a great point that you mentioned.
Now, when you say you put the teams together, I remember the NCAA had a rule a few years ago. You couldn't have more than 3 or 4 guys from one team.
2.
How is that? Now it's 2?
It's 2, yeah.
So you have to spread them out. And then
you spread them out.
Okay. And then you and James actually sort out the teams, except for 3 that came in on their own.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You take, I'll use Norfolk State an example. You got 2, 2, 2, 2, and then you just build around it. You put a guy from Longwood here, a guy from James Madison. You just keep going on a team like that until you have about 9, 8 guys. Then you go to the next team. You just keep building that way.
Now, pros. Let's say Dory Finney-Smith comes into town. He wants to play a few games. Do you put him on a team to play him, or he has to already be on a team? How do you handle the pros when they come in?
Dude, we designated the pros as a drop in. Take Darius Gray last year, and I know the team he dropped in with, but they can go wherever you want. It's basically a drop in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You've earned it. You've earned the right to come in when you want, and we'll put you wherever you want for the day.
Now, do you have high school players either just graduating or going into their senior year or younger?
Sure. We've had in the past. I remember when Matt Coleman played, and he was rising at Oak Hill. Kareem Stagg played last year, and Stagg is going to play again.
Okay. He's been playing a lot of teams. He played with Norfolk Collegiate. He played with Lasker Smith last week, and of course he goes to IMG Academy now.
Yeah,
so he's been getting a lot of run everywhere.
That's right. And so the thing is, usually it's going to be an exceptional kid that can take a pounding, not going to shy away from a college guy or pro guy, what have you. So, yeah, we sprinkle them in. So it's a few every year.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, E, you've had some, before we get to some of the players they'll see this year and some of the teams, you can give us the rundown, how they can find info, the schedule, where they can see your updates and everybody that's covering it. I know you're getting some good media coverage from the newspaper, local TV stations as well with this. You've had some record performances, if I'm not mistaken. I know Stephon Welsh has dropped 50-plus. I forget if it was a Macklin or a Finney-Smith or a Mike Scott years ago, but I know, was it last year, Mike Christmas from Lansdowne High fame, Longwood, Jamie Wood, he dropped 50. Give us some of the rundown on some of the big performances. I know Christmas and Welsh are up there on the leaderboard, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, so you just mentioned Christmas last year. Mike, MVP of our league a year ago, 50 points. And after Mike poured in the 50 ball, you had congratulatory things from like I'll tell you the first 2 guys that congratulated Mike. One was Welsh, who had a 50 or close to 59 in his own right, and also downtown Kenny Brown, who had a 50 ball. Brown retired now, but Brown was with Maury, state championship with Lake Taylor, played Hampton with some great guys. But those were 2 guys right there who immediately congratulated Mike Christmas after he ripped off a 50 ball last summer.
And before we get to some more guys, we were talking about during our before we went to break last segment, you've had some former Ed Young players in this event. B.J. Jenkins is one, right? Who else from his Green Run, Norview, Nance, whatever fame? Has Shannon Evans played in this before?
Shannon Evans played 1 year. Bright, I remember. Of course, Nick Wright with ODU. It's been a nice amount of guys from under Ed's umbrella. Absolutely.
Ed's umbrella can make sure they don't get wet. Before we let you,
hold on 1 second, Matt.
Okay.
While you said get wet, and I'm glad Coach Young is here.
Uh-oh.
I got an idea for the show.
Uh-oh.
I seen you back in the pool I've seen you in the pool already. I think we need to add a swimming and diving segment to the show. And,
I love it.
And I want to get Coach Young's thoughts before I jump into my sheets here.
I don't think he likes it, but I like it. We could do a show from the pool as far as I'm concerned.
Eric,
I'm good with it.
I got a lot of respect for you. You do great things for the community. You know your stuff.
He's just a hater.
That kind of a comment will throw all that out the window.
He's a depressed individual, E.
Stop giving credence to this person in the pool. He jumps the fence when the people aren't there. He's in the fence. He's scaring kids throughout the neighborhood.
They got cameras, trust me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do not. I've got federal agents ready to bust in at any moment. I've got child CPS ready to take
CPS?
Yep, Child Protective Services to watch him.
I'm not doing anything wrong with it. Come on.
You can, and if God help us, we always see him from the head up.
Oh, no, we don't need to do that.
Let's make sure we never see anything from the neck down.
Oh, man.
It will shut down.
No, we got enough ladies chasing us. Okay.
So I'm just trying to let people know. Okay, the pool shenanigans, stop encouraging this nut job because he'll keep doing it.
E, tell us about who's going to be in attendance this year, that or at least scheduled, because as we know, with event organizers like myself, with the VA Press Classic, you can always have a late-minute snag or something, but who's scheduled to be there that fans can check out, and give us the rundown on how many games, tickets, is it still free, or is there a small price? What can they know about those particulars, if you will?
Yep, NCAA says we cannot charge a gate. There's a pot at the front door. And, Matt, if you're ready, I got my screen up this year, Matt. I can run through all 8 teams for you whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Give us the rundown if you can. Sure.
All right, so look, you got to start with the defending champions. That's Harvey Lindsay. Won our league a year ago. Buoyed by Mike Christmas, the MVP of the league, 30 points a game last year. And also Eli White, his running mate, dynamic duo. That's Team Harvey Lindsay. So here are the names, Matt. We're going to go with Ethan Ward from Christopher Newport, Christmas, George's Archer, Ben Nacy, Cox, ODU, Scotty Hubbard, freshman with Old Dominion now, Eli White, Randy Stafford, John Norfleet from Salem fame, Will Bland from MIT, DeJoel Rucker from VSU, and Datwan Johnson, Booker T alum. Now with
Before you
Virginia
go further real quick, I'm going to give you another idea, because you gave us an idea for the show, and I don't know how you could pull this off if there's any rules or ramifications. That's a little bit of a Virginia Beach all-star team there, Ed, with Ward and Christmas, Elijah White, who played at Kempsville, mixture with Datwan Johnson and the ODU freshman. I want to get this out there, and maybe we can do it. And I want to mic these guys, too. I've told my old TV bosses at Cox that we needed to do a 30-minute show, where we mic'd the 2 coaches I used as my guinea pigs for the idea was if we mic'd Darren Sanderlin and Ed Young for 30 minutes, we'd have gold. Gold, Jerry, gold.
That'd be awesome.
Now, we'd have to get rid of some of the expletives that both he and Darren used. I think Ed probably a couple more than Darren, but anyhow, we should get, for some of these teams, I don't even do it every week, maybe 1 week at the end or something, get a little local celebrity coach. It can be a retired college, high school, whoever. You can use Ed as one of them. Pick a current coach to coach a team. Hey, and Matt, I'd like to use that with these guys with the mixtapes. And we got all those guys out there. Shout out to my guy, Deshaun Webster, who played at Tallwood. There's a bunch of them out there. Yep. They could do a little mix with the highlights and take some of the coach commentary with it. I think it would just add to I'm giving a good little idea out there, and I don't need any profits from this. I just want to watch the entertainment of it, to have the coaches mic'd up. I could give you 10, 15, 20 coaches. You could get like a Zeke Avery if he wants to do it, a Jack Baker, Darren, Ed, current coaches. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that'd be up for it. It'd be pretty cool.
Matt, add 1 mic to Height from Kings Fork. That would be another great microphone.
Oh, you talking about Rick Height? Oh, listen, the limit. It's limit. Oh yeah, he's very into it. Rick
might get kicked out for 7 games.
He might. But it would be great. Don't you like that idea? Are you guys allowed to do that or not allowed to do that?
I don't know. I don't know all the rules on the microphone.
All right. But we should do the celebrity. But continue on. That's Team A, which I'll call the VB / all-star group there. You have Harvey Lindsay, you say, right?
Yeah. Harvey Lindsay is basically almost Team Virginia Beach. That was a great thought, and I see you picked it up. And that was my thinking with that group as well. Okay, let's go on to the next group, Team Brown. And Team Brown is our guy, Chris Brown. Brown is going to go Xavier Brown, his son, ex-Brown, of course, Jarrell Pope, another Virginia Beach native, ex-Green, Xavier Green, Deshaun Wade, Deron Powers, Deshaun Cook, Farrell Lassiter, Marcus Banks, Dallas Kendall, and Kyer Pendleton. That's Team Brown. So you look at Team Brown, the ex-Brown, Xavier Green's been with Chris Brown
Long time.
Long time.
So you do have coaches so Chris Brown is coaching that group. You do have some coaches that are okay. Good to see. And Chris now coaching at Smithfield, but he did coach X and his son Xavier Brown and X Green. We just call that. It's like Team X there with the X's there.
Team X. That's Team X with the X's. Team X with the X's.
All right, that's down 2. So who was our next one?
All right, we got a new team, Jarcam, and Jarcam is a kind of a street veteran team. We got Ryan Braxton. He played at Princess Anne. Marcus Fisher, Lewis Freeman, Wallow Green, F. Tarver, M. Whitfield. You're going to Kayanze Chavis, James Prescott from VSU, Terrence Jones, Norfolk State guard, Brian Moore. He's also a Norfolk State transfer guard, Isaiah Gill and Jacob Gill. That's Team Jarcam.
Nobody's going to be doing more talking than my guy Chavis. He will be getting into some guys' ears. He'll be, I don't want to say the Draymond Green instigator because some might misconstrue that, but he will be animated and into it for sure.
Do you know Chavis gives it up?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on. All right, team First Class Real Estate. Now, First Class Real Estate. This is the team that Sebron dropped into last summer ago, and also Kareem Stagg dropped in here one summer ago. So here are the names. Jaleel Langston and Will Steger. They're both University of Virgin Islands.
Yeah, Jaleel, one of my guys.
Yeah, put it in
There's another one. There's another one. That's right. Clint Wright Jr. from VSU. Tim James Jr. from Randolph College. Naja Ribeiro, Grambling alum. Jalen Jordan, Lake Taylor alum. The big guy, Daniel Pounds, ODU, 6'8". Sebron, that's his drop-in slot there. Khalil Mading, 6'9" from Norfolk State. Jelani Darden, Norfolk State forward. Stagg, drop in there. And his brother, Keith Stagg, dropping in there.
Who's coaching that team? You know who's coaching that team?
This team is going to be coached by Rob Fuller, old Granby alum.
All right. I was going to say if it needed a coach, we could let Ed coach it for a day, for a quarter or a half, because you got Langston and you also got Tim James Jr., who played at Salem and Virginia Beach, as you said, going around college. Right. He coached his papa at Norview. So there you have it. I like that group. That's a sneaky, underrated group. All right,
nice group there.
What's our next one on
plenty of length with Mading from Norfolk State and Pounds together. Yeah. I'll put that group together.
Yeah, Danny Pounds watched him with ODU this past year. He's got a lot of upside to him.
Plenty of athletic hops with them. Now let's go to the next group. ECG. Everyone Can Go. Everyone Can Go is a new group, Central Virginia based. A lot of Petersburg alums. Let's see what we have here. All right, here are the names. Everyone Can Go. Clarence Claiborne Jr., Keon Lewis, Baquan Lyons, Jordan Leaks from Norfolk State, Tyrese Folks, I think he's a Virginia Union player, Jamari Mason, Kamaine Lundy, Bernard Fuller, Chris Fields Jr., he's Petersburg, of course, Norfolk State. And that's going to round out Everyone Can Go.
Okay,
most of these names, a lot of these, go ahead.
Do me a favor, count up by the end of the league. Now, I could be wrong on this. I saw him do it a lot in AAU in high school. I want to count up how many charges Jordan Leaks takes, because this guy, every game I see him, takes at least one charge. I'm going to put how many games you got in the league per team?
About 5 weeks.
I'm putting the over-under, Ed, at 4.5 charges for Jordan Leaks. You taking the over or the under, Ed? You taking the over or the under on his charges?
I would take, depends on the referees in this league, I'm going to take the under.
Oh, I'm taking the over.
I'm going to take the under.
There you go. Loser's got to buy dinner for the next one. Go ahead. What's our next one?
Go ahead. All right. So next group is Tidewater Wildcats. Now, the Tidewater Wildcats is the de facto Bryan and Stratton group, led by Cliff Coleman. Cliff didn't submit a roster yet, but we know he switches his guys in and out. So Tidewater Wildcats is going to be from Bryan and Stratton, and we thank them. Matter of fact, while we're on the topic of the Wildcats, Bryan and Stratton has been with us I've been with Flood for about 10 years, and Cliff has been sending the team all of those 10 years. So we appreciate Bryan and Stratton. They've been with us for a long time.
That's awesome. Right. He didn't submit a team because he's still out there recruiting, getting more guys out there. So what's our next list?
All right, the next team is Daddy James Barbecue is a sponsor. Ooh. Daddy James Barbecue. And we're going to go Kel Miller. I think he's a Paul Camp JUCO player. Tremaine Gates, player coach. Marcus Allen, Jeremy Jordan, Marcel Chesson, Christian Johnson, Isaiah Yarbrough, Dante Cooper, Caleb Henderson, Tyrell Bladen, 6'10" from Norfolk State, Chris Philly Ings, 6'2" guard from Norfolk State. He's a starter. Saquon Welsh, Woodside Bluefield, and R.J. Blakeney from Old Dominion, transfer from Dayton. I think he's been with Old Dominion for about a year. So that's going to round out Daddy James Barbecue.
All right. Good stuff. Yeah. I heard you say Caleb Henderson. Is that the Manor coach, Caleb Henderson, who's playing there?
Nope. I think this is an older player from
different Caleb Henderson. Okay.
Yeah, different one.
Gotcha.
There.
All right.
Two NSU players there, one Old Dominion player, Saquon Welsh at Bluefield, along with Eli White. Okay. All right, and the last team we have is Team New Runs. New Runs goes Romello Brown, Marius Turner, Aiden Breathwaite, Carrick Grogans, Michael Jenkins, Woodside, Norfolk State, Angel Pacheco, Ciante Melvin, former VSU player, Chris Cyrus, Virginia Peninsula player, and Donovan Raymond, 6'9", from Old Dominion. That's New Runs. Yep, that's all. That's 8 teams. That's all 8 teams, Matt. Here we go.
That is really good stuff, E. Before we let you go on my end, my last one, I'm sure Ed will follow up with your final one here, and we thank you for spending pretty much a half hour with us, more than we probably expected to have you on, or you were thinking we'd be on that long. You said the tickets are free. People come in, but they can obviously donate to the cause with all that you and Flood and the folks with the 7 Cities Pro-Am are putting on your board. What times it start, and what's the last week it's running? Give the little mini rundown if you can on that.
Yep. So we're starting tomorrow, which is Sunday, June 30th at Norview High School, and we're going to run Sundays all the way up through August 3rd. I think that's scheduled, if I have it right. That'll be like a one-day playoff. So Sunday, June 30th, we'll start, and we're going to go every Sunday all the way through the month of July over at Norview High School. Come on out. No admission. There's a donation bucket up front. Drop $1 in if you like. But this is for the community, man, and we're here, season 18. We'd love to see everybody come on out and see some of these good guys work out for you.
18 years and counting. It's still running strong as the best in the state of VA. Super Eric Rogers. Always good time, my friend. And Ed, I'm sure you're going to make a trip out there. You got some free time on your hands. Now, I don't know if he'll have I'll have to empty out the change because, Ed's a little tight. I don't know if he'll have the donation bucket. Now, when I get out of the pool, I'll do it. I don't know about it tomorrow. I'm going to put it on my calendar to do as he shakes his head over there. But we're going to try to make it a trip. But we've been saying it for years. We'd like to do the show from over there, but I don't know if we can pull that off with some technical equipment. We'll have to do that one of these, if not this year, in the future for sure.
What time does the game start?
Oh, we start at 12 noon. 12 noon each week. Each Sunday, 12 noon.
Now, are you playing pro rule, NBA rules, or college mixture?
Yep. Tony Brothers will be back once again. Tony Brothers, Jaleesa Painter, Brandon Adair. So Tony's running NBA rules, and we're shot clock, everything, NBA style. And did I miss anything?
Well, if Tony Brothers and Brandon Adair are there and Ed shows up, they're going to be running because Ed wants to ask them all kinds of tough, hard-hitting referee questions every time.
They'll be there.
Yeah, they'll be running.
They'll be there.
So
yep. And again, to Coach's question, 12 noon each Sunday, 12 noon, 1:45, 2:30, 3:45. We're still on schedule to be the last game of the day, and we're usually out of Norview's gym by about 5 o'clock or so.
And then you'll have a playoff after the regular season. All 8 teams, top 4?
It'll be 6. It'll be 6 because sometimes we have 2 teams that flood drops, and it'll be like a one-day AAU style. You win 2 games in the final, and then we're out of there.
Okay. And, of course, they can find it on your Twitter or X page at Super Eric Rogers. You'll pin updates and scores and schedule and any.
Absolutely. I posted the schedule this. I posted the schedule this morning. I'll post the schedule every day, but I post the schedule to my story, and I'll run the schedule through Twitter this morning as well.
Perfect. Well, we thank you so much for coming on and spending 30 minutes of your weekend and day with us and our nonsense. So we look forward to hopefully seeing you out there over at Norview High School. Going out there, fans, support this great basketball for the area and our state, the 7 Cities Pro-Am. Always a pleasure, my friend. You be well, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Coach. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, E.
Thanks a lot.
Super Eric Rogers against Seven Cities Pro-Am coming up at Norview High School in Norfolk beginning on Sunday, and it's going to run through July. Game starting up at 12 noon. We're going to take a timeout, come back with more, including my top 10 games for high school football this year, our mailbag questions. We've got a couple of interviews with some athletes around the state, football, basketball, too. It's all on the way here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on COVA Sports TV. Now this from CHKD and VBU.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar, IV hydration and vitamin therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
Why did the cantaloupe jump into the pool? Because it wanted to become a watermelon.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Ed Young was not amused by the cantaloupe watermelon joke. I'm not even sure he heard it. But we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on COVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe as he shakes his head in disgust because he knows in an hour and change I'm going to be in the pool and he's not going to be that cool.
Well, I do listen to him because I've been told by the authorities to keep track of what's being said as the case will build against you. And I've asked not to have to be on a witness stand when you go on trial, but I've been granted
trial.
immunity.
What is wrong with you? You got a weird, warped sense of humor and mind. I don't even know what to get in your head.
That's what I'm saying.
It's dangerous when you get up
You
to this
in the
Yeesh.
pool is warped, dangerous
No, it's you.
for the minds of young people. Really, anybody that watches it. It is scary, and we're not sure what you're going to see next. And quite frankly, it's illegal.
Can I shout out some folks watching on IG right now? Our man, Coach Covey, Chris Kavinsky, former ODU basketball assistant, Rob Cutchins, Franklin basketball coach, Vincent Lowe was a standout at Grassfield High School. We were out there last week for Patrick Jones's football camp at Grassfield. By the way, big community day for Jalen Holmes, he of Lake Taylor High School in Norfolk. I know he did a lineman camp the last couple of days. We got to catch up with Jalen soon, he of the New York Jets. And I can't say, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to get in trouble. You ready? You love me getting in trouble before we do a clip. There's a former NFL MVP quarterback who's coming back from injury who is supposed to be in town. Now watch all the media outlets and thousands of people go run to wherever that may be. But I can't say his name or what time he'll be there. But that's what a little birdie told me. Now I can't promise if he'll be there or not. I can't promise if discount double check will be involved. I'm just saying, just putting it out there in the ether as I start trouble, which I'm good at doing. Let me stop the trouble. And we've got some sound from a high school basketball player who will give opponents trouble this coming winter and beyond at the college level because he's getting some Ivy looks, Ed, which means he's not only a good talent on the court, but
Gotta be
he's
smart.
a lot smarter than you and I.
No question about that. It's something you wouldn't have no clue about. Ivy League in smarts.
Why?
Well, I mean, high school is the best 6 years of your life, but it was nothing had to do
No,
with academics.
it was 4.5. 4.5. Get it right. Go ahead.
Yeah. He when they say he walked the halls at Kempsville High, that's what he did all day was walk the halls.
Did
of
more than just
Kempsville
walk
High.
the halls. I ate lunch too.
Yeah, even every lunch shift.
Lunch was my favorite class.
It's the only class you got an A in.
He's got the same old jokes, folks. He's been giving these same jokes for 12, 15
No,
years. Get some
these
new
aren't
material.
jokes.
Come on.
These are not jokes. This
they're
is
serious?
real.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This
Go
is
ahead.
real stuff.
So it's not like the watermelon cantaloupe joke. Wait till you hear the lunchbox cooler joke, which we heard out here at the Plex last week. That's coming next week for those that missed it.
And
Go ahead. What we got?
Those are some of the stupidest jokes I've ever heard.
You're just a hater.
No, the guy that got in earlier, the Jack shot, was the hater. So
No, that guy, true. Yeah, we had to ban him. He got banned from the show.
That's
But listen,
when you know you made it.
If it's like you, I mean, you have all kinds of haters. If you don't have haters, then what's
I've
what's
said
the point?
this many a times. If they don't hate in front of you, it doesn't matter what they say behind you. And ain't nobody stepped to me yet, so I ain't worried about haters. And you ain't somebody until somebody hates you, because you have to be good to be hated by somebody who's not that good.
Okay. What do we have now on tap? Now that we got that out of the way,
Right. And a lot of these guys that are in their mommy's basement who can get behind a computer and
that's right.
Type
Tough
stuff.
very tough guys. Yeah, big
Come
tough
on
guys.
now. You should know. We've been in radio long enough. How many of those crank radio calls we used to get because we didn't hit the dumb button quick enough?
We got a lot of those.
Yeah, so
we're giving that individual too much time. Let's give
that's
one
right.
that's
Let's
gonna
get
be pretty
into
good.
what you do well, and that's talk to some of the kids, the athletes in the area. And you had a chance to speak with, as you said, Cape Henry, Sebastian Whitfield. It was during the VISAA live period shootout. We'll talk about what the live period means here coming up so everybody understands what that is. But let's see what Matt and Sebastian had to say here on Cobra Sports TV.
All right, here with Cape Henry Class of 2025 prospect Sebastian Whitfield at the VISAA Virginia Live Shootout here taking place at Alexandria City. Team just got a nice victory, satisfying one by a comfortable margin over Collegiate School out of Richmond. He had 31 points in this game. Sebastian, it's been a whirlwind of a year for you. We saw you as a sophomore get MVP at our Virginia Preps Classic at Virginia Wesleyan. Ton of Division I interest, offers as well. Then junior year hits, injury, torn meniscus. How you recovering from that looks pretty good out there from what we saw today.
I feel really good. I've been in the weight room a lot, trying to get my explosiveness back. Just doing everything, being in the gym a couple times a day. It's been a grind, but I feel like I'm back now.
How frustrating was it not to be out there on the court, help your teammates, and just being away from basketball? Did it eat at you a little bit?
It was real tough, especially because we weren't doing the best last year. So, and it felt like all the games were close. I'm like, if I'm out there, they're all wins. But,
sure. How have you kind of stayed upbeat through the process? I mean, I know you got family support, coaches, your friends, your teammates, older brother who's playing, is it volleyball at, where's he at?
Princeton.
Princeton. Yep. I'm sure you're getting a lot of, encouragement on this process as you return, right?
It's been great. And, just college coaches still contacting me during that time. It's like, so I know what I have coming back to, and that's also giving me motivation to work harder to get back and get more offers and stuff like that.
You definitely haven't slashed in the classroom. You got a pretty good GPA. What do you say in the books classroom?
I think I got a 3.9.
Not too shabby. And you got some Ivy Leagues looking at you. I know Princeton and Yale who were here today, Columbia as well. Is that something that appeals to you? You would strongly consider?
It definitely does. I have a lot of experience with that just because my brother is at one as well. I think they also have great basketball. People look over that, but they've been in the tournament. They've gone far in the tournament a lot of times. So, it's great for my future as well. So
when you put on an NCAA tournament game and you see Yale beat Auburn this year, do you say I can be that guy hitting that shot?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure. Have you been to some of those places and campuses? And if not, do you plan to?
So I've been to Princeton a couple of times. I was just there the other weekend.
Okay.
And I plan on going to an official to Columbia and to Yale in September.
Okay.
And then probably Princeton as well.
What's been the vibe? You mentioned Princeton. What's been the vibe like? Pretty good connection?
Yeah, pretty good connection. I have a call with them and their head coach this week as well with my parents and stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Beyond Ivy, some other schools are in the picture and looking at you. I know you work out. You've been in Norfolk State a lot. Who else is you looking at and maybe considering they consider you? You consider them, if you will.
So Norfolk State, High Point as well in North Carolina. JMU, I talked to them before. William and Mary. It's some other ones too. I just forget.
Sure, a few more. What are you looking for in a school? What are the things that are going to matter to you as you finish up this process and get ready for your senior year, and then make a choice, or make a choice before your senior, whatever you decide to do it?
I think the main thing is probably finding a 4-year home where like I feel valued there as well. Like I don't want to go somewhere and sit the bench all 4 years or be a small port, but I also want to have like a good education as well, just so I'm good for my future.
For those that haven't watched you play, we'll check you out this year at Cape Henry. We'll check you out beyond that. What are they going to see out of your game? What's a college getting in Sebastian Whitfield?
I think I'm a great slasher, but I think I also have improved my jump shot a lot, and I also feel like I'm going down to like that shooting guard, combo guard position, so I think my handles are getting a lot better as well.
Yeah, it seems like out here you're attacking more. You were known to knock down jumpers. We saw you a couple of years ago that showcase against Norview where you had a bunch of three-pointers and buckets. What are the things you're still trying to sharpen up in your game as you try to get better and better?
I say just making my moves more shifty, so I'm not having to use my body as much, but also learning how to use my body since I've probably gained 10 pounds over the past year or so. So just like learning how to use it and knowing that I'm bigger than other guys.
Sure. Yeah, the body control, the separation. Lastly for you, coming up this year, Cape Henry got a new head coach who you're familiar with. Has been around Cape Henry, so got a total change in terminology and connection there. Give me your thought and goals for this coming year. I know last year didn't sit well, bad taste in the mouth. You want to kind of show the big comeback, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, Coach Hall is my guy, but I think a change in scenery is always good. It's going to be different, especially for my senior year, but I think with the pieces that we have, we can definitely make a run.
Keep an eye out for him. Cape Henry, Sebastian Whitfield, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So that is Sebastian Whitfield from Cape Henry, 6'6" shooting guard, Ed, who's gotten a lot of attention in the last week and change. It was at the live period shootout, which is when you have the high school teams. The VHSL had one at Springfield. You'll hear from another one of the young men we caught up with in Jordan Scott, the Class 6 State Player of the Year from South Lakes, and Darius Gray of St. Christopher's. Maybe today, one of them we'll get today, maybe we'll get one of them next week on the show. Darius Gray is a multi-sport standout in football and basketball for St. Christopher's, which plays, I think, Lake Taylor again this coming year. But that was at the VISAA live period shootout that took place in Sebastian. Just since our conversations, added offers from the likes of Radford, East Carolina, Columbia from the Ivy League, which can give you an invite more than an offer. And he's already got, you heard Yale, Princeton in the mix, Norfolk State, High Point, and others as he's starting to accumulate more attention. Ivy League stuff, as we brought up, Yale beating Auburn in the tournament, but 6'6" 2 guard with the ability to shoot, scored 31 points last week in the game that they won that I watched. And Smarts, that's a good package there. And coming off the injury, which is always a neat story, that the comeback, if you will, was a good player 2 years ago in our Virginia Preps Classic, got MVP in their win over Maury at Virginia Wesleyan. Last year, not a great season. He was sidelined. They have a coaching change going from Mark Hall, who won a bunch of games, championships too, to Lance Hurdle, and here they are, maybe a sleeper. Hard to think of Cape Henry as a sleeper in basketball, but more people talking about Catholic and Norfolk Collegiate and even Peninsula Catholic, which changes coaches from Trevor Dorsey to Tim Sparks this year, and they've got some talent back, including Jalen Wynn, Devin Gaines, who once played for you, among others. It feels like they're not as thought about, and Whitfield's going to be a player to watch out for at this level and beyond. I could see him in an NCAA tournament one day. Couldn't you?
Yeah, that youngster, he has his stuff together, and very articulate. I can see why the Ivy League schools are going for him. And, you say possible sleeper in Cape Henry. I think a lot of times when there's a coaching change, that automatically freezes things up to say, okay, well, let's see what the new guys bring in terms of philosophy, any particular changes. And, of course, today's world, you have to talk about it, transfers, coming in, going out. So that's why I think sometimes we look at that situation, even though it's a top-notch program. There'll be a couple programs under those kind of guidelines this year until they get going. So, but I like that fella. And that 6'6" 2 guard, if he can put it on the floor, shoot it, defend it, he's going to be a very good Ivy League player.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to take our time out and come back with more, including the mailbag questions. We'll hear another interview with either Jordan Scott or Darius Gray of St. Christopher's. Plus, to close out the show, we've got our top 10, at least my top 10, high school football games in the 7-5-7 this year. The Virginia High School League has released the schedules. It came out on Wednesday or Thursday this week. It's up there on virginiapreps.com if you want to check it out. For folks that have not seen it visually, I'll rate them from 10 to 1, 1 being the very best, and Ed will tell you why I'm right, why I'm wrong, how he'd reorganize, reshuffle it. we kind of do our own version of like First Take with ESPN with Stephen A, where he gives a list, and Mad Dog Russo gives a list, and they go up and down on the list, even though Stephen A is not one of Ed's favorite people in the world. So there you have it.
I tried watching his show the other day. Really tried watching it. Don't turn the channel. Let him talk.
Stephen A's pretty expensive, by the way. I heard to do an appearance in the Northern Neck, he wanted like $25,000. Someone told me just to do an appearance.
Well, I don't want to get into it.
He's an expensive guy.
People love him. Some people love him. Some people hate him. I don't have time.
They're
for
entertainers on TV. I mean, I don't want to hate that. They're working a lot of hours on TV, getting royal treatment. So, and then he gets to yell on TV about the Knicks and OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges deal.
That was a great deal. That was a great pickup by the Knicks.
It was a good pickup, but they gave up a lot of draft choices to get him.
Yeah, what's funny is they gave up a 12-year-older right now.
A who? A 12-year-old?
Yeah, they gave up a second-round pick in 2036.
You mean they gave up Noah Harris?
No. So that kid. That could be Noah Harris.
You never know.
Okay, you never know. It could be him.
You're still trying to coach him somewhere. I just don't know where you're going to be coaching at.
But the draft picks in the NBA really is a joke. I mean, it's guys trading, picks from 10 years from now. It should be, you can't make a law against it, but it's really a joke. And goes to show you how not serious, especially those second-round picks are. So everybody's going crazy about Bronny James. Just calm down. It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Just breathe, exhale. You were a little upset about the Nick Claxton thing the other day, though. He's getting like $20 million a year.
Well,
to basically be a
my
backup
problem
center.
is
John Concact territory, right?
Yeah. My problem is I don't mind, guy. You get as much as you can get and go for it because your career is short. The problem I have as an old dude now is you see these guys making crazy money. And, of course, the guys from back in the day, we didn't have money like that. Doesn't even compare.
Back in my day, we had to walk 55 miles to get to school in the
No,
snow.
it's 3 miles over the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Through the snow. It was not 55 miles. If you're going to make stories from the past, get them right.
Okay.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yeah, your butt was delivered to school. Okay, they dropped you
I had a
off
limousine. I had a
whatever it
chauffeur.
is.
I had, I had my lunchbox. That was all good to go.
Okay, the lunchbox.
Yeah.
What was one of your jokes with the lunchbox?
Oh, that's coming next week. That's coming next week. Don't spoil it for those that haven't heard it yet.
One of the dumbest jokes I've ever heard.
It's not one of the dumbest jokes. We've got dumber. Trust me. We got dumber. We got lots of corny jokes coming on this show. Trust me. I got lots of material. We got time out though.
That's where you need to be. Speaking of corny, do your stuff from a cornfield somewhere. That would be perfect.
No. I've been to Springfield. I've done the show from other states. Don't want to go to a state that's got a cornfield. I want states that have pools.
Go through Windsor. You'll have all the cornfields you want.
Wow. Look at you.
I watched because I went through there the other day.
Taking some shots at the Windsor Dukes
No,
over
it's
there.
not shots. It's
Man.
great farmland. But they got a lot of cornfields in the back. I think it's Route 68. Take Route 68. In fact, I will take you there and drop you off.
Oh, that's very pleasant of you. It's very kind of you.
I'll be back to pick you up.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure. I'll be looking at the watch saying
you can trust
99 degrees with a 112 heat index. By the way, you know what it was last Sunday in Alexandria when I was getting ready to get on the Amtrak, come back? You know what it was? It was 99 with a 110 heat index. True story.
But you're on a plane. You're on a train with AC.
I wasn't on a plane. I was on a train.
With AC, so what you worried about?
Yeah, it's still hot.
I was out cutting grass.
But that's your problem. You
digging in the fields.
You didn't go get a guy to
the
cut
temperature.
grass. Why didn't you go hire somebody? Stop being cheap.
Yeah, you're not going to see me in the pool shenanigans. I'm out working.
Let's hear from our good friends at Vault and the Drip Bar, and we'll come back with an interview. Ed's going to make a choice which one he's going to pick, and then we'll do the mailbag questions right here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Interact with us. Tell us what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear right here on Cova Sports TV.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar IV Hydration and Vitamin Therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
I would go with these two you have right here.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Pain and Gain, your one-stop shop for all things field hockey. Located in Princess One Shopping Center, Virginia Beach, we carry everything you need on the turf, from black sticks, turf shoes, mouth guards, and much more. Try out your stick before you buy in our synthetic turf area. Pain and Gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game.
You know it, folks. It's all about you gotta live, you gotta love, and you gotta laugh. Because if you're not living, loving, or laughing, what kind of a life are you having? Probably like this guy. Or this guy.
And we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live, love, and laugh. That's what you got to do, Ed. You'll have a good day.
That live long is the key, the very key one. Laughing is not that hard to do, but that living long could be a tough one.
You know who's living a great life is a young man from Reston, Virginia, who's the reigning Classic State Player of the Year, who's got a lot of schools recruiting him, including a couple in the Big Ten like the Spartans and the Terps, and we caught up with him last week at the VHSL Live period. He's a top 100 prospect in the nation, too, up there in Springfield. They beat Lansdowne one day, lost to John Marshall close another day, and took care of business against the Hopewell Blue Devils as well.
Yeah, this kid, I really like watching this kid play. I saw him in the state tournament last year. Great upside. He's got to get stronger, which he will, especially going to Michigan State as one of the schools playing in that Big Ten. But
that's if he goes there. Let's not.
That's right. I'm just saying if he goes there, but I will hope he stays in state. But anyways, the kid is very good.
Mike Young was watching him. I was sitting right next to Mike Young from the Hokies of Virginia Tech.
Virginia
and he
Tech,
remembers
JMU.
you because he's. Oh yeah, I remember Ed Young. That's my cousin. We left at the family picnic a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember Mike at the family reunion. They never brought any food though.
He loves popcorn, by the way. Did you know this? That he loves. Look it up. Mike Young. No, it's not his nickname. He loves popcorn more than any human being on the planet, Mike Young. We'll have to get him on the show one of these days and talk about popcorn and the family picnic y'all were at.
Yeah, we call him popcorn when he was little because he always had popcorn. Always did. Right. But let's see what Jordan Scott had to say to you at the Virginia Live event that you attend to here on Cova Sports TV.
All right, here with the South Lake standout from the class of 2025, Jordan Scott, the reigning VHSL Class 6 State Player at the VHSL Virginia Live at the St. James School in Springfield. Jordan, first and foremost, congrats on the state championship, State Player of the Year. We've talked back in March when you won the state championship, you got State Player of the Year, and you just concluded the NBA Players Top 100 camp. How's the off-season going for you as you're getting ready for your last hurrah?
Yeah, I mean, we just got together with our South Lakes team this weekend. Obviously, got a little bump going. We got to play together as a team that we haven't done it like a pretty long time. So There's like a little preview of what we're going to be doing this upcoming season.
And I know this means a lot to you with your teammates. I've been seeing on social media you've been enjoying things around the community, what they've done for you in Reston. To do what you've all accomplished, I know when it was fresh, it didn't all register with you, but to do that, get Player of the Year, which I know it's not about that for you, it's about the team, and then also to get the prestigious honor to be a top 100 invitee to the players' camp. What do all those things kind of mean to you as you get ready for this last journey, if you will, at South Lakes?
Yeah, I mean, they're all like great experiences and great accolades, obviously. Getting the goal of winning a state championship, and then my coach getting coach of the year, and then me getting player of the year is kind of just like perfect way to end the seniors' final year and stuff. And going to the camp was definitely a great experience. I got to learn a lot. I got to play against a lot of high-level people, or the highest-level people in the whole country.
Yeah. What was the biggest takeaway for you from it? What did you learn most that you can apply life in general and your basketball game moving forward?
I would definitely say you might not be like the tallest or like the strongest, but you always be the hardest working person on the court, and that's what I try to do every game.
Well, I think one of the moments for me last night, even though your team lost in game 1 of this event, you've bounced back nicely with a couple big wins, including here blowing out a really good Hopewell team in Class 3. Was you had an awkward fall against John Marshall, but you got back up, battled tooth and nail against them. What kind of playing against this competition, the physicality, the bump and ground, which what you'll see in college, whatever conference school you choose, does that kind of help, even though it can be a little bit annoying or frustrating at times?
I mean, a little bit. It can be like a little annoying, getting bumped all the time, but obviously it's a physical sport. It's going to be contact, so you got to play through it.
Mm-hmm. As we talk about recruiting, because it is winding down for you now, you obviously have a bunch of options that can grow, and you have to make a decision here. It's been reported, characterized by some, you can say it's fair, unfair, that Michigan State is your rumored favorite. What would you say to those that believe that?
I would definitely say they've been supporting me pretty much like the whole summer for basically almost my entire high school career. They've been at my game. They were sitting over there. Mm-hmm. And I know I had Maryland here, Virginia Tech, and Georgetown I saw over there. I wasn't really like looking over there a lot, but that's just what I saw. So all those schools have pretty much been recruiting me pretty hard, and they're all definitely schools I'm looking forward to visiting.
Well, and then before we move to other schools in the situation, I know Coach has been by the school in years past. Have you gone an official there, and is that in the plans for you? What's kind of the...
It's in the plans. I haven't gone on a... No, he's been here. He's been in my school, been in my house, but I haven't gone an official there.
Okay.
I've gone on 3 or 4 unofficials over there, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I'm looking to get an official sometime in September.
So the love is obviously genuine there. Who else do you feel like the love is growing or could be very genuine? You mentioned Tech is here to see. I know Mike Young was here earlier. Also, Maryland's head coach is Georgetown. Regional kid, people think maybe you're not a regional kid, you go outside of that. I mean, you've got some schools that are also contending with them, right?
Yeah. Maryland's definitely been recruiting me pretty hard. I plan to take an official. I believe it's September 6th, whatever that weekend is.
Okay.
So I'm planning to go up there, maybe take an unofficial a little bit earlier than that too.
For you, what will it boil down to? Because there's always factors these days with, coaching staff, playing time, whether they're going to use me, how they're going to use me. For you, what do you think will ultimately determine between this school and the finalists, if you will?
Yeah, so you're not going to know who's going to be there by the time I get there because transfer portal and all that stuff. So just looking for where I fit best with the coaching system. Mm-hmm. And obviously the coach might not be there by the time I get there with everything that's happening, but just finding a good spot and good camaraderie and everything.
We've seen you come out here and score, get rebounds, block shots, pretty the full arsenal. But one of the things to me that jumps out about you is what a really good gifted passer you are. Do you hope people come away seeing that in your game as much as other things, or do you hope they see something else that even is above that? What do you hope people see out of your game?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do a lot of things on the court. I feel like I do almost everything. So definitely being able to contribute with my passing skills on the court with teams that may be shading me a lot more, trying to find my open teammates and setting them up for easy buckets.
Last two for you. Thank you for your time. For you coming up this year, you got to replace some guys, obviously, but you have back Solvita, your backcourt mate, if you will, or actually you could say Robin to your Batman, how they want to call it. Merrick stepping up for you. What's kind of your view of this team this coming year? Whereas, all right, you're defending champs, you got that target on your back, but I'm sure you embrace that when we go back to back too.
Yeah, we definitely have that target on our back, and we got a lot of new pieces. We got a lot of people that didn't really play last year that are going to be in a lot of bigger roles that they're going to have to take up this year. So you just got to be prepared because every team that we're going to play, we're going to be like their Super Bowl. So it's got to be prepared to play against them.
You've been one of the neat players to cover for me in all these years of Virginia high school. There's been a lot of players that get state career as a junior. I think back to Marco Haskins, Tyler Skinner was a valued player from Northern Virginia. What do you hope your legacy is? Last question at South Lakes and in this state as far as high school players, because when you walk in the gym now, people know who you are. You're certainly getting a lot of eyeballs. What do you hope your lasting legacy is?
I just want to be known as a winner. Obviously, won the state championship this past year. I got one more year to go, so hopefully to end my career on a high note, winning another state championship.
That's Jordan Scott from South Lakes High School Class of 2025. Thanks so much. All the best.
Thank you.
So that was Jordan Scott. We caught up with him, South Lakes High School reigning state player of the year at the Virginia Live VHSL event. 65-plus teams up there in Springfield. They were among them, beating the likes of Hopewell and Lancetown, contenders in Class 3 and Class 6 respectively. A tough loss the first night to John Marshall, reigning two-time state champ in Class 2. The men of Marshall, who are a nationally ranked outfit, it was a good game. I think he had about 25, 27 points on Friday. It is Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel wherever you're tuning in. IG, Twitter, X, Facebook, VirginiaPreps.com, all over the web. You heard four kind of schools prominently mentioned there, Ed. Maryland, which will take a visit planned in September. Michigan State, which had assistant Doug Wojcik there. Tom Izzo's been there a number of times to see him. Georgetown, which had an assistant, and Virginia Tech, which I mentioned had Mike Young of the Hokies. Your reaction to what he had to say, A, and then B, do you ultimately think he picks Sparty, or you think he picks somebody else?
Well, first of all, another great interview. The kid has a good head on his shoulders. He's a very good player. He just got to get stronger. And that'll come in time.
Well, real quick, at his position, which is kind of the small forwardish type position, he's grown, by the way, since we last saw him. I think he's about 6'7", 6'7.5". They're saying, doctors saying he could get all the way up to 6'9", which could be the game changer if he's going to be a dynamic, really, really impact college player and have a chance to play professionally one day or not if he grows another inch or two. So you say, why does that matter? Well, it could be. If you're a 6'9" wing as opposed to a 6'7" wing, that makes a huge difference. But is it necessary that he has to get stronger? Because it's not like he's playing in the 4-5 spot.
No, you got to get stronger.
Okay.
Anytime NBA, you're thinking of playing in the NBA, you're going to have to get stronger. Professional leagues are no joke. Anytime there's contact, you're going to need that. A 6'9" wing guy doesn't need maybe as strong as a 6'9" brute inside because of the position. You've got to have your flexibility. You've got to have that athleticism, which Jordan has. I mean, you got his dad, Jerome, played at Miami, correct?
Yes.
And mom, Christy, played Georgetown?
No, did she? No, I don't think she played at Georgetown. I think she played at Maryland. I'm pretty sure she played at Maryland. Now you got me looking it up.
Okay.
Now you got me looking it up here.
Look it up.
I'm trying to.
Look it up. We don't want to make that mistake.
We don't want to make that mistake.
In fact,
I should know this.
speaking of
yeah,
Maryland,
she played at Maryland. She did not play at Georgetown. You're thinking of Monica McNutt. You're confusing Monica McNutt, who for some reason is not wanting to come on our show lately. We had her on in the radio pass, but of ESPN, and Christy Winter-Scott. She played at Maryland. Second in Maryland history in points, fourth in rebounds, and she did win a state title at South Lakes in '86, 29-0, but they were the first boys team to win a state title at South Lakes. Grant Hill didn't even do that, who went on to Duke, NBA, and he's on TV like Christy Winter-Scott, who, by the way, I passed on the elevator when I was up there for the Wizards-Nuggets game, when I was the guy, doing that little pregame co-captain. You remember that, right? Oh, if you don't remember it, here it is. With our man Hunter Tyson and Bilal Coulibaly from the Wizards, I think. I'm not even positive that's Coulibaly. I think it's him. I thought it was going to be Joker and Jordan Poole, but I did pass Jordan's mom, Christy Winter-Scott, in the elevator. But
those
continue on as I got sidetracked, which happens a lot on this show.
If you run that back, those two guys at that exact moment, you were in the middle, couldn't wait to be anywhere else in the world.
No.
Where they were at that moment.
I took a shower. I didn't smell. Why would you say that?
The look on their face said it all. Like, what?
No, they're obligated to do that. And
co-captain.
Yeah.
You snuck in that joint.
I did not sneak
walked out
in.
on the court and gave the guy the wrong name.
I was awarded this.
Awarded.
Recognition of my hard work, dedication, and passion and enthusiasm.
Yes, I
Why would you say such a thing?
Because I know you. That's the key.
Do you think I could really sneak through the security guards and get on an NBA court? I mean, come on. Let's be real here. Stop telling lies and fake news on this show. But carry on we got sidetracked. We were talking about Jordan Scott. It's not about me and all this other stuff. Go ahead.
Jordan Scott, based on mom being that great at Maryland, that's the lead school.
Dad was a darn good player, yep.
That's the lead school for him, Maryland.
Wait, so you don't think it's Michigan State? You think he's going to play for the Terps?
He's not a Michigan State type player.
Wow.
He just isn't.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Wow.
Now, it doesn't matter what I think. If Tom Izzo's showing up, then he's a Michigan State type of player. And
you don't think he's a future Hokie? Jack Lodhope's not. He's a Cavalier. He's a wild. He wants some kind of UVA. I did not see UVA looking at him, by the way.
Jordan
surprised by that.
Scott would be great. Cavaliers or Hokies. He would be great for both of those teams. I hate to see him leave the state, but you got to do what's best for yourself. But of the schools he talked about, I would say my pick would be Maryland.
And the debate will rage on who is the best player in our state. He got state player of the year, but there's a young man at Highland School. He's a 5-star. who used to play at Colgan, played for our guy Jason John, who won a couple state titles at Colonial. Nate Ament. I don't know if you heard what he did last week against DeMatha. He had 41 points, 27 rebounds, and 6 blocks in one game. And he might be, after A.J. DeBonsta, like the second best high school prep player in the country. We need to see Scott play Ament in a game in a showcase, Virginia Preps Classic. We'd have to see if those coaches would agree to that. But maybe get Jordan Scott down here to play one of those 7-5-7 teams. We've got a lot of good ones, including back-to-back state champ in Class 5. If they're out there listening or watching, they may hear this. You never know.
That would be a good matchup.
I'd be good with that.
That would be good.
Let's move on. We could pack the gym, whatever gym we're at, wherever we're doing it for our, is it 15th, 16th annual? I've lost track of how many of these classics we've had. A lot of fun time. It is now time to do our mailbag, sir, as we're going to empty out the mailbag of questions that the viewers, the loyal listeners and viewers have provided us. And we've got 5 good ones that the folks have sent in this week. Are you ready?
Let's bring it.
I thought you were born ready. All right, let's go to the mailbag question. Number 1. How many games do you think Granby football will win this year? This comes from Roger in Chesapeake. All right, well, you need, in order to pick that, you got to see their schedule or know their schedule. So I'm going to read it to you. You ready? As I pull it up.
Yep.
Remember, you were the Granby hater last year when I told you they could start out 4-0. And I was right and you were wrong and everything was right with the world because that's generally how it works. I'm right and you're wrong.
No, you're only right when you bring it out. When I'm right, nobody ever hears about it. Once again, I picked Florida to win the
No, you
NHL.
didn't. Whoa. Run the tape back. I had Edmonton. You had Dallas Stars that didn't even get there. Okay. Let's not lie to the American people.
Hold on.
Do not lie to the American people.
Calm down.
No, I'm not calming down. I'm
is
hot
why,
and bothered. I need to get in the pool. I'll be back.
See, this is why you know when people are lying, when they get all discombobulated, screaming and yelling. I'm remaining calm.
So Stephen A. Smith is always lying, is what you're saying? He's always screaming.
Yes, he always
screaming
lies.
A. Smith. Okay.
I picked the Stars.
Lie if you can, steal if you must, but always cheat. Continue.
I picked the Stars over the Rangers.
Correct.
Okay.
And that was incorrect.
Now, what teams were in the final?
Edmonton and Florida.
Okay. When it started, I said Florida.
When did you say this?
Oh, my God.
Do we have video evidence of this? I think you're lying.
I can't pick the Stars now when they're not in it.
Well, that's your fault. You didn't get your team to the final.
We picked the teams that are in it. You
I
stayed
got
with
my
Edmonton.
team I had Edmonton over the Rangers, and my team got there.
Okay, and your team lost to the team I picked because after I did my research, I said Florida.
If you did your research, you'd have picked it from the start.
No.
Yes.
Dallas is a better team. Go ask any 11 hockey experts, and 12 of them will tell
Dennis
you
down. Is he here?
Dallas
Go get Dennis
is
and ask him
better
to settle
than
this for me.
Florida.
All right,
By
let's get
far.
to our mailbag question. How many games do you think Granby football
Give me the
will
schedule.
this
Come
year?
on.
All right.
You're wasting
They're
my
at
time.
Denby. I'm not wasting your time. You're wasting their time. At Denby, at Kickintan to start.
Hold on. Slow down now.
At Denby.
1-0.
At Kickintan.
2-0.
Bye week. They won't lose that. At Norview.
It's a toss-up. 2-1, I'll say.
You're wrong. 3-0. At Booker T. Doesn't have a coach right now, allegedly.
If they don't have a coach, they won't have a team.
That's what the word is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say 3.
Lakeland, they host.
4.
Lake Taylor, they host, who they beat last year.
They're not going to beat them this year.
Oh, you sure about that?
Yep.
Are you boldly putting it out there that they're not going to beat Lake Taylor this year, guarantee style?
I won't guarantee it right yet.
I love me some Hank Sawyer, but I'm not so sure. They beat him pretty soundly last year. And Dravion Tharrington could be the best running back. Clip this here, Jack, for later. Dravion Tharrington could be the best running back in the Eastern District. And that's with Maury having a couple of quality running backs and Churchland returning one of the top rushers in the area and Dontavius Booker. But we continue on. Lake Taylor, Churchland at home. That could be a tricky one. I think they lost that one by a whisker last year.
I think they take down.
Oh, Churchland? So you're going to split it.
So
Well, I'll give you a 1-1 there. They host Norcom with the great Matthew Outten, who has the best first name in the state.
I got to give them a loss somewhere.
You just gave them a loss. Boy, you hating on the comments again. Why are you such a Granby hater?
I have Granby right now losing 1 based on the schedule so far.
You had them losing to Norview and you had them losing to Lake Taylor or Churchland, so that's 2 you had them losing. Yeah.
2. Okay, 2. You
got to keep these guys straight.
Win this.
So
win
hard.
that one. Win
It's
the
so hard. I agree. Manor at home.
Another one.
Who's hiring a new coach, by the way.
Another one.
And then they close out at Maury, which is a kind of a home game at Powhatan Field. That's not a win, I don't think.
Maury's not losing.
All right. So Ed Young is declaring that Granby will go 7-3.
At worst.
Okay. Ed Young says Granby 7-3.
At best, 8-2.
Matt Hatfield's going to say Granby 8-2. So there you go. Put that on the board, and we'll follow up in August, September, October, November, and see who.
And he'll find some way to say that I said they're going to win 5 games. Watch how they change the tape.
Our good buddy James T. in Virginia Beach wants to know, is it possible to have a Mets versus Orioles matchup in the 2024 World Series? Yes, it is. If you play MLB The Show, it's possible. But in real life, it's not possible. No. Everything is possible, but I don't think
not
that's
this
possible.
one. Orioles could be very well could be the World Series. Mets, no.
Everybody's getting. Listen, the Mets are swinging the bats well right now. We know Diaz got in a sticky situation last Sunday to close it for them, who was all-world prior to his injury, going back a couple seasons where they played Timmy Trumpet. Dun, 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 dun. I did that song if we're allowed to. And we know J.D. Martinez is doing great things for them, but I agree with you. I'm not even sure the Mets get in. If they do, it's a wild card, and I think their stay might be short. They got to get more starting pitching, whereas the Orioles might just need to get another reliever because Craig Kimbrell's dicey late in the games. Cano's not been what he's been. We know Bautista's hurt. I think their starting pitching can hold up with Corbin Burns at the head of it. They've had some starters hurt. Ton of former Tides contributing for them, obviously, with Mountcastle or Rushman and Cowser and so on and so forth. Their offense is as good as it gets. So Baltimore, good chance. Mets, not so much. But the Mets have turned it around, the Grimace Mets. Are you going to go get your free Grimace Mets collectible item, Ed? I think it's in a week from Wednesday. You're going to go up to the Big Apple and go get your Grimace Mets collectible?
No.
Why? Because you're a Yankee and a Debbie Downer?
No, I respect what the Mets are doing. Of course, when they play the Yankees, they look like they belong in the World Series.
You can't talk bad about the Yankees. I mean, the Mets, they smacked your Yankees.
And then when they play everybody else,
they went whack.
They caused Frank
Sorry,
the
Randy.
Tank to go into.
You okay, Randy?
Go into heart attack.
Poor Randy. All right. That's our next question on the mailbag. How many hours does Matt spend per week in the pool? I think this is a real question too. Bob in Portsmouth. It varies from week to week.
It's too many.
We'll go. It's about this week. It might be about 24 to 28. On an average week, maybe 2 to 4. Try to keep it down. But a good question there. We got some weird questions this week. Now this is a good question here.
People, put your cameras on. Put your sniper rifle ready.
This is a good question from Cindy. No relation, but what's the maddest you guys have seen each other? This is a really good question, actually. The other questions, not so great. This was a good one. For Ed, it was probably about an hour before the show, if you really want to know. I thought about this the other day because someone said, is he really mad? And I don't see you get as mad as some people think you get. I would say the maddest I've seen you, I'm going to take him back to a bad memory, folks. And it's not even your worst loss, although at the time it may have been to you. You were still going on to states. You remember when you lost to Booker T in the region championship, not the region semis, at Churchland back in 2007? I walked back there to get a quote from you, and you were using some not so pleasant words at your assistant coaches. God bless Paul Hall, Leroy Skinner, and the rest of your assistants, as you were just going off on them. And to quote the clean version, you had given up an elbow jumper to Deshaun Painter, who played at NC State, Florida, and ODU, and you doubled down on Miles Holly. It was like a 1-point game, and they hit the jumper to make it a 3-point game. You'd battled back. Andre Jones had that great dunk in transition, and you were doing in your Robert De Niro imitation with the suit. I don't know why we doubled him. Bleep, bleep, bleep. We should have left him open. That was the maddest I've ever seen you. You were so mad in that brief 20-second interval. I said, ooh, if I walk back there, I might get slapped with his hand moving around like all that. And that's the maddest I've seen you.
I'm usually calm.
You weren't that
cool
day. And that would be, now I didn't see you, but you played at Deep Creek one year and you were down double digits, came back and won the game when they had, I forget if it was Mike Scott or Corey Law, and you were so loud in the locker room, people sitting in the bleachers could hear you. Now that was another one that you were mad, but I didn't see it. So that would be the maddest I've heard you, but this would be the maddest I've seen you.
I think that was the time I was talking about A Christmas Story with the kids.
Christmas Story, okay.
In fact, I was being dramatic.
Yeah, all right.
To get the kids into it more. They were looking forward to Christmas. Christmas was coming up in like 5 days.
But do you remember the Booker T one? You remember that one, right?
Yeah, I remember Deshaun Painter.
Yeah.
I think that was the game too where he had a tip in.
He might have. But I remember the elbow jumper put them up 3, and you were chastising your assistants for doubling down on a Holly to leave Painter open.
Well, it's not. I was probably letting off steam, but it was not their reason we lost.
But in that particular moment, you were lamenting it.
Yeah, I don't.
Which now, I guess, looking back at it, you might not think it's funny at all. I think it was funny. And at the moment, I didn't think it was funny, but anyhow.
Yeah.
Darren probably thought it was hilarious, too. What about me? You got the maddest you've seen me? Do we want to know? I don't get mad. I stay happy. I get in the pool. I live, love, and laugh. I enjoy life. I don't get mad.
Having the opportunity, one time we're watching a game that you had strong interest in it for a particular reason.
You remember which game it was? There's been a few of these.
All I remember is you scream like a banshee Indian. You hit the wall. You went to grab the TV. Then when I knew you really lost it was when you raised your voice towards me. And then I almost had to bring death upon you, but I didn't.
Death upon me? Geez, that's a little strong.
He was...
Was that this year or another year?
No, that was this past...
Oh.
College? Was it college football?
No.
College basketball.
Yeah,
college basketball.
Yeah, okay.
He was going berserk. The
Well,
proverbial beside himself.
It's a good thing you didn't see me during the NFC Championship when the Cardinals played the Eagles, or in '98 when the Jazz played the Bulls. You might have gone another way.
Well, and speaking of that, there was another time I didn't see you, Matt, but I heard
me. Yeah.
When
that was in the airport. That's another story from
Vikings and
that was
Colts
bad.
were playing a football game.
Yeah. Still mad at your Vikings, Nick. Down 33-0 against the Colts. Jeff Saturday. Never trust Jeff Saturday on a Saturday. Never trust him. Never trust him.
Jack says Western Branch versus Nancy River when I was there.
Mad. That was this year. You were pretty. I wasn't there for that. Jack was there for that. Y'all. No disrespect to you or your kids, but that was a gag away because you were up and had that and lost it in OT.
We blew many losses to Western Branch. We should have won.
Yeah. Next one, Derek. Is our last one here. Where are you guys going for vacation? Derek, our buddy Derek Folcombe out there from Smithfield sent this one in. I've already went to my vacation. I'm not going to Peach Jam this year. I'm not going anywhere else. I didn't get the Vegas trip this year or Florida trip to go play in my home away from home Boca. My vacation, I guess, is the pool. I did go up to working. All my vacations are working vacations. See, I'm generally staying after the grind here. Ed's the guy that gets to go on vacation. So are you allowed to divulge where you're going for your vacation?
Right now, I don't see that. I don't see it happen. It's not in the budget.
Wow.
I'm would love to go, and I've been looking hard at cruise maybe to one of the islands like Jamaica or whatever.
Oh wow.
Never been.
To the show from the
would
from
like
the
to take a
islands.
trip to Vegas. Haven't been there in a couple 3 years.
Wow.
That's a possibility.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But right now, nowhere.
Nowhere. Nowhere. Hey, look who chimes in from the show. Your buddy Don from Altoona.
Oh, man, Don Verderami. Now, Don might be able to say sometimes he's about me being mad.
I'm sure he's got.
He has seen me mad.
Yeah.
Don is a great assistant for me, a tremendous friend.
And I got him confused with other Don that coached at Northview. Remember that last time he chimed in? I got him confused.
Don is a great character guy. One of the things I try to do as a head coach is surround myself with the best type of character guys I can find.
Because you're a character. You have to have people with character.
I'm the character, but they have character.
Absolutely.
And this guy does, almost to a fault. He is tremendous.
I'm glad he's watching among the hundreds of folks out there.
Yeah, Don was tremendous. And he saw me upset a few times. And what we went through at Altoona, Pennsylvania, oh, my God, we can write a book on that deranged place. But we won't.
We've got one more segment. We'll hear from either Darius Gray of St. Chris or another one of our interview clips when we come back, and then give you my top 10 high school football games. You say, high school football will start for another couple months. Well, people are anxious for it because the schedule came out this week. That'll be our last segment on this edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel on Cova Sports TV. We're all over the web, and we thank all of you out there like Don that are watching the show and interacting with us. You can do so through X or Twitter, Facebook, IG, VirginiaPreps.com, and, of course, on our Cova Sports YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll come back after we hear from some of those sponsors that make it possible, including Town Bank, CHKD, and others. Don't touch that dial, that mouse, that device that you're watching us.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. you get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
You know what's so great about this place? It's an Ed Young free zone. Oh, yes. It's great. Tremendous. Doesn't get much better than this.
757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
That's right. It's an Ed Young free zone. That's what makes it so lovely.
The one thing I was hoping in that video when I first saw it, as you started like putting your head back, if you would have kept your mouth open and went under the water, would have been a great made-for-film situation. So try that the next time you're in there. That would be cool.
Why do you wish bad upon me?
No, I just want to see if you can say something stupid while you're underwater. That's all. It would be kind of neat to try. I would think a lot of our people would want to see it. You know, on the chat line, anybody want to see Matt go backwards in the water with mouth open? Just say yes.
I think they'd rather. I think they thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah,
well, the guy we banned would obviously like yes.
Yeah, he'll come back on. He'll have all
on their
thumbs
new
up.
username. But I would think a lot of people like to see you get. You know those you've seen them on TV and other places. I'm sure on social media where they have the little. Matter of fact, we can get this out here at the Plex. I'm giving Nick and Chuck a great promotional idea. And matter of fact, we'll raise. Well, I don't want to speak for them with the money. We can raise some of the funds for a good cause out there, charitable. Like for $1, you can get a little dunk tank, and if you hit with the baseball, if you hit the little button, it'll dunk Ed into the water. That'd be great. Be great. We should have done that with the bouncy castle a couple weeks ago. And I'm still disappointed we didn't get you going to bouncy castle. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? The world's biggest bouncy castle we had out here. You weren't there. I wanted to see you have to go in there and have all the kids like shove you, push you down. See if you can survive not getting a 20
Well,
ACL.
if I'm going to the bouncy
great.
castle and there's kids trying to push me down, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to throw some kids around in there. I'm just letting you know.
Not if they all gang up on you. You can't take 18 ankle biters at once.
I know some WWE stuff. So.
Doesn't matter. 18 ankle biters at once will bring you to your knees.
I'll bring in some candy. The kiddies always take the candy.
They're not supposed to take candy from a stranger, and you're a stranger.
Dangerous stranger. You're right about that.
Dangerous stranger. I tell you what, if you're on the football field or the hardwood, and you're playing at a big game, this guy's no stranger to you. He's got a lot of attention. He's probably one of the best two-sport athletes in the state, and he's one of the best football prospects in the country from the class of 2026. Up there from the Richmond area at St. Christopher's, we caught up with him, Ed, at the VISAA live period shootout, and I mentioned to him, I forgot if I said it on camera or not. I probably did. Looked like DJ Burns on the hardwood, and then on the gridiron, he looks like a monster as well. Who are we talking about?
This is one and only, not in our area now, people, but this is one you got to watch out for. Darius Gray, St. Christopher's out of Richmond. Let's see what he had to say with Matt on Cova Sports TV.
All right, here with St. Christopher's multi-sport standout from the class of 2026, Darius Gray at the VISAA Virginia Live Shootout. You are known as a football stud, Darius, but you also show some nimble work out there on the hardwood. How's the summer treating you so far?
Oh, it's been great. Just hitting up a few football camps, and now I get to have a free week, so I came out and help the other guys, get attention. So we have to win games, and I'm just here to help them. So.
Yeah, I want to talk some hoops with you in a little bit, but being on the Rivals Network, Virginia Prep, it's like every few days we're running a new story about you across our network. You've been taking different visits, getting different offers. What's the latest for you? Who have you seen lately? Who have you been to talk to lately? And what's on deck for you in the coming weeks and months?
Yes, sir. So I came to Tennessee. Okay. I went to Ohio State and LSU. That was my 3 camps, and I had an next-gen camp, which wasn't college. But, yeah, those 3 schools, that's where I went to this summer. And then upcoming, I got Florida State in July. So I'm excited for it. But.
Not to name any favorites here, but what did you learn? What did you take away from those experiences that you learned and then can apply moving forward?
Really, honestly, just keep working hard. I know, when I get to the next level, it's a restart. So there's no point of me, settling out. Just keep getting better and not let it, lose my focus at all.
Sure. How's basketball help you in football, and how's football help you in hoops?
Oh, yeah, basketball keeps me in shape. It do. Okay. Football gives me that aggressiveness, toughness, so I can foul a little bit. But, being a block or whatever it may be. But overall, it just both help with each other, whether that's, with my feet, with my hand movement, my hand-eye coordination. It just helps with it all, honestly.
You're a standout in both sports. You're a standout on both sides of the line, offensive line, defensive line. Which do you feel you do better, and which one do you think is ultimately your future, if you will?
Offensive line, no doubt. I train offensive line. I don't really train too much defense, so I just train offensive line. I love offensive line. I just love playing the position, so definitely without a doubt offense.
From my videographer here, JT, when he puts on Darius Gray's highlight tape, where he watches you this fall or beyond, what's he going to see out of the offensive lineman? What do you bring to the field?
Improvement, toughness. Overall, just winning my battles every time I get. So, like I said, it's all about, the mindset of things. And when I know I could beat the guy in front of me, I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Now, having seen you before on film and then today on the court using the head fake out there, I know you're a student of the game, so you study things. Who do you like to watch when it comes to football? Did you kind of take some tendencies and put into your own game and elements?
Oh, yeah, Trent Williams, no doubt. I love Trent Williams. I love his footwork. I love his hand placement. I love everything about him. And it's another guys like Joe Thomas or, Orlando Brown. I like watching a lot of tacklers in the league that really stand out.
I know the thing coaches like about you is you're pretty level-headed. You're not boasting or bragging about your offers so far, and you're at probably 30, 40-plus. You'll be there if you're not. Of the schools you got in the picture right now, who are some schools that you can outline as some early favorites and contenders that are going to be there in the end for you potentially? Give me a few that kind of stand out right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely the ones that, produce NFL linemen and the ones I recently went to, such as Ohio State, LSU, Tennessee. So overall, just keep going to schools, and with the visits that I go to is the schools I'm most interested in, and some schools that that I am interested in, but I won't be able to make just because of the distance and it just has time to work out. So honestly, every school that gave me opportunity, I'm interested in 100%. Whether that's SEC, ACC, HBCU, I'm very interested in all.
Did you grow up with a childhood favorite or two? Anybody that kind of you shake your heads? Who were they?
So yeah, I was a bounce around type of fan. So LSU, Oregon, Florida State.
Okay.
Yeah, those 3 schools, Oklahoma, those 4 was my main ones that I look up to.
For you, as you go through the process, what will be some of the pivotal factors for you to distinguish between those schools that you liked and the schools that you love, if you will, or ultimately love the most?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely without a doubt. Family atmosphere. I think that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Just being able to understand that the coaches have my back as much as I have theirs. Sports communication, that's what I want to major in. And then just player development, honestly. Just understanding that I will be a better man and a better player when I go to that school. I think that's what will stand out most.
Awesome. Last 2 for you. What are you improving on right now in your craft? Be it on the gridiron, be it on the hardwood. What are you trying to do to be a better overall package student athlete?
Everything, honestly. Whether that's footwork, just getting faster, bigger, stronger, But most importantly, just getting smarter with the game, understanding the game like a quarterback would. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to learn. So I just keep watching film, watch NFL films, watch film with my quarterback, and just understand things that they do so I could get a better understanding of football, so slow the game down a little bit.
Outstanding. Lastly, as the multi-sport athlete that you are, incorporating your teammates out here, you got some good ones like EB out here and and Stu Cosby draining threes, and others that are making things happen. Sonny Bridges, what are your goals this coming year? I know you're going to say championship with football, basketball, but what? And you got a team last year made some noise. Beat John Marshall, which opens my eyes. What's kind of the outlook for this year coming up? And tell me about some of those guys that help you out there look good as well.
Oh, yeah. So definitely without a doubt, game, just taking it daily and just getting better overall, whether that's one practice, it keeps building up. So just getting that chemistry right. We lost Brandon Jennings last year, Kellen Welch, and a few other good kids. So, overall just regrouping and understanding that we're still St. Chris and we're able to beat teams like John Marshall. And hopefully we'll beat another team on that level. So, yeah, overall the goal for us is just really getting better, just really getting, the best us. St. Chris, we had a long time since the state championship, so that's the number one goal without a doubt. We're trying to get one for the first time in history.
Well, there's the gridiron or the heart. We got to deal with this guy, Darius Gray from the class of 2026 St. Christopher's in Richmond. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you for coming. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that was Darius Gray from St. Christopher's. Football standing out with 35-plus offers. Rising junior ed, offensive line, defensive line, wants to play on the O-line at the next level. He's got all the big boys already recruiting him, and he's got some nifty footwork and a feathery touch on the hardwood as well.
Tell you what, I like that kid's got that enthusiasm too. You say he's only going to be a junior?
Only going to be a junior. We've had some really intelligent young men today. A couple of private school kids, Sebastian Whitfield from Cape Henry, basketball hooper, as well as St. Christopher's Darius Gray, just heard from, plus Jordan Scott sandwiched in the middle there from South Lakes. Also had earlier on the show, if you missed it, Super Eric Rogers from the Seven Cities Pro-Am. But all bright youngsters out there.
Yeah, and the thing about this kid that caught my attention quick when you ask about the line, and he's probably going to be college football or college basketball. You ask him about the line, he was quick to say, offensive line, which I think is the toughest position to play in football.
Yeah.
Offensive line.
I'm with you.
Especially if you really got to protect a non-mobile, good quarterback who throws a lot, or you got to be mobile and run initial blocks on a team, especially on anything sweeping, anything out to the side. And he enjoys it, he embraces it. And then I started listening to his schools, the first school I would connect him with in terms of his personality at Florida State, of who he mentioned. And I think he said LSU, Oklahoma, Florida State, and there was somebody else that he really liked. But I said to myself, I can see this kid playing at Florida State. I could see him anywhere, but I would pick Florida State.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the best across the landscape in the Commonwealth for sure. And it is now time, Edward, as I'm sure you are waiting with bated breath for my top 10 games coming up, and it's coming up now for high school football as the schedule's been released. Are you ready for it? You ready to knock it out of the park here? Grade my high school football action for this year?
Mm-hmm. Let's
go.
Bring it on.
10-1. Here we go, ladies and germs. Why do they say ladies and germs, by the way? I always say ladies and gents.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that. That's being disrespectful.
No, that's not nice, especially nowadays with germs. They're not cool at all.
That's that stuff in the pool, that chlorine is affecting your brain.
It is. Number 10, Salem at Kempsville. It's the first Thursday of the season, August 29th, 6:30 p.m. Be there or be square. That'll be a good one as they have played before some tight battles and both made it to the region semis last year. Salem falling to Green Run. Kempsville had a lead in the first half and it fizzled away in the second half against the eventual Region 5A champion Braves of Indian River. That's my number 10 game, as that's the game to circle to start off things. Should be a good matchup with the young corner for Kempsville, Chris Spence on the outside. C.J. Spence trying to cover those receivers like Fabian Wells from Salem, who's going to Howard that you heard from. And kudos to Jason Scooter Williams, the quarterback you heard from with Fabian Wells, former Mustang, by the way. He's going to Navy to play his college football. So we're going to have, I think either next week or week after on the show as we move into July, a list scrolling across our ticker of all the FBS and FCS football commitments around the state. How about that? You like that word, Edward?
That is some good work.
That's some work. And you know what we got to do? I know the newspapers and others do it. We might have to do our own 757 Sports Talk top 10, top 50, top 100 prospect list, and we'll do a top 10 team list as well. We'll do our own little rankings, and they can interact with us and tell us how right we are, how wrong we are, and get the opinion and the conversation stirred up, stir the pot. Ed likes to stir the pot, especially if the pot's got chili or clam chowder or gumbo. He loves to stir it up and make it taste good.
Those are three things I've never eaten and will not.
Wait, you've never had chili?
I don't like. I've had it, hate it.
You hate chili. He's something's wrong with him. He hasn't had my folks' chili in the hospitality room.
I would eat chili if it was
people
free.
love. Although this year was not as big a popular item as it was in years past. You don't like clam chowder? You don't like gumbo?
Never had it, and never will.
Wow.
I
Your
think I've
buddy
had
D.
jumbo.
Nice from Kempsville Basketball told me one time when he was at Booker T, you got to stir it up like gumbo, make it taste good. So I guess
I've had gumbo. Gumbo,
Yeah.
I don't think it's too bad. I think I've had that.
Number 9 on the list. What we got here on the list here? Number 9 on the list.
Battle for
War
Williamsburg.
Hill at Lafayette. It is the Battle for Williamsburg. And I would shout out one of the establishments up there that's got terrific food, but they don't sponsor the show. We'll work on them. They have the same first name as Palantonio, who works for ESPN. I'll just leave that alone. Great desserts up there and food, and Italian food, by the way. Maybe it'll be our weekly sponsor. We'll work on that. We'll get our crack sales team on that. Nonetheless, War Hill Lafayette, good game. Last year went down to the wire. War Hill, a winner in the matchup. Lafayette made it to the state finals. Year before that, it was a close game. This will be a good game again, although War Hill graduated a lot more, and Lafayette looks to be the king of the BRD again. You have a problem with that one at number 9, or no problem with that at number 9?
Well, it's hard for me to assess if I have a problem with it because I got to somehow find out the games you left out before I could kind of comment on it. This is a battle of Williamsburg, two very good teams. That probably needs to be in that top 10. Now, I'm a little skeptical on game number 10 you had, the first one.
You don't like that one? Okay.
Yeah. I got a feeling there's a game I already know you told me about that you didn't put in here. Now that I know that one should be here over the Kempsville-Salem game.
Okay. Number 8, Green Run at Salem. We go back to the Beach District. This figures to be the battle for the supremacy in the Beach. Stallions have dominated the Beach the last few years. Figure to be right there again with Kassan Farrar, the UConn committed quarterback, as well as Jaden Anderson, Virginia Tech committed receiver, Knowledge Harrell, Virginia Tech committed defensive back, Zeke Chinwiki, Virginia Tech committed defensive end. Do we see a trend here, a twend here with all the Hokies commitments? And plus they've got Emmanuel Taylor, former Sun Devil, by the way, at outside linebacker going to Pitt. Sun Devils, as we mentioned, have some talent with the likes of Scooter Williams and Fabian Wells, plus a big-time offensive lineman who will make his decision soon in Jalen Gilchrist. As I'll stop with all the names because I'm putting Ed Young to sleep across the way. Go ahead. Your thoughts on number 8.
No, I'll keep this game in here because I agree with you. I think these are the two that battle it out for supremacy in the Beach. So obviously when they play each other, you got to look and see. Now it's kind of middle of the season, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is. It's about week 4 or 5.
It's
and the
not
reason,
at the end.
The reason, going back to 10 for a second, that Kempsville-Salem was there, I had to pick a game in the opener. And the opening week, no disrespect, the last week of August is not a really attractive list of games. So
Okay, all right, let me interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So you picked your 10 best games based on each week.
No. I just wanted to have one to start the season off. I don't want to wait till 2 weeks into the season. So I'm getting ready for your criticism that's coming. I'm trying to subside the level of criticism as you hate on it because it is hard for me to justify it looking back at it. So I'm trying to do the best job I can here. Let's go back to number 7 now, or go on to number 7. On the list of top games, Hampton Phoebus. How do you not have it? It's October 5th, 12 noon. It's the Great American Rivalry Series. Although, Edward, Phoebus has dominated Hampton. I think they've won like 19 of the last 24, 25 meetings. This has not been as This would have in the past been 1, 2, or 3 on the list, but it's not even the best game in the PD to me. Although I do think the Crabbers will be on the upswing and be better come next season. I just don't see them as the biggest threat to Phoebus from the Peninsula District as they try to keep it on the upswing. The Crabbers under Coach Woodrow Wilson got back to the playoffs, but a couple years ago when he took over for the legendary Mike Smith, they were not as viable a contender as they used to be. You got a problem with that being 7 on the list? I know you're a traditionalist. You're an old school
this is a game I always say
1, 2, or 3.
It's in the list, so I'll take it. Probably as we get closer, it probably would be all signs on paper point towards it. Another domination by Phoebus, but let's see what Hampton has to say about that as they'll get their season going, and we'll see what happens on October 5th.
Number 6 on the list, Oscar Smith at Indian River, Friday, October 11th. Who can forget how last year's game ended? Travis Johnson, you heard from on last week's show, one of the top receivers in the country from the class of 2026. He's ranked as a top 100 prospect by ESPN. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass from Alani Andrews III, his quarterback, who's going to be a sophomore, to beat Indian River, the eventual Region 5A champs, who no longer have Jordan Harris, but they have a lot of other talented pieces back in the fold. Some newcomers, too, for Coach Brandon Carr as the Braves and Tigers. It's a great rivalry matchup. Braves only won a couple of these meetings the last 20, 25 years. However, at home, James L. Fry Stadium, that'll be a packed house in Chesapeake a couple days before the 13th of October. Not a Friday the 13th, it's a Friday the 11th game. Nonetheless, this might have some drama and some fireworks and some excitement.
Agreed. A lot of athletes will be on the field in this, and both teams should be on their way towards playoff football at this time. So I think this fits right in.
So far, the only game you have a problem with is number 10, I believe.
The first one, really, that's the only one I'm going to say, no, we're going to get that out of it.
I hope Kempsville and Salem play a triple overtime classic for the ages just to shut you up. Number 5 on the list, what I need it to just to justify where I had them. Warwick and Phoebus, as we're almost done here with our top 10 games. We're halfway through it. It's November 12th at 12 noon. Phantoms and Raiders last year was not that exciting of a game, though. It had over 6,000 people there. It was 10-2, I believe, was the final. Had a safety. There was not much scoring. It was 2 rock-solid defenses. The question to me on this game will be not if Warwick can finally beat Phoebus for the first time in forever. It'll be, is Messiah Delome available to play? Because this is at the end of the season. He's coming off that injury he sustained in the summer. We don't know if he's going to play at all this year. They need him, I think, to beat the Phantoms. And for playoff positioning, this game will have a lot of implications on the power ratings, not just for Phoebus in Region 4A, but also for Warwick in Region 5B.
I agree. If Warwick can duplicate what they did last year, this would be a really good one. In fact, could they be the team that knocked down Phoebus? Because I think it was last year you were asking the question, how much would Phoebus score on them, or how much would Warwick score on Phoebus? Because at the time, Warwick was shutting everybody out, and very few people could score on Phoebus. I think this game will stay where it is. Phoebus, I think, is my pick to win the title again at their level. Warwick, let's just see what goes on. But this is a good game to have in the top 5.
Worth noting that Phoebus has won 58 straight Peninsula District games. And if they get to this point in the season unscathed in the district, which we anticipate them doing, it'll be 65 in a row to try to make it 66. In terms of overall consecutive wins, they've got 35 going into the season. We'll get to their season opener, which is in the top 5 of our games list. But if it gets to 44, that'll put them within a season or so of their state record. That's the VHSL record for consecutive wins. So keep an eye put on that. We go back to the SED, the Southeastern District, where it's Kings Fork and Oscar Smith. Remember years ago that memorable 99-game winning streak that the Tigers had, and it was snapped at the end a year ago. Kings Fork beat Oscar Smith for just, I think, the second time in school history. Javon Ford ran the ball about 40-plus times. We just gave him his Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week plaque that he got during the season about a couple weeks ago at the ODU 7-on-7 passing tournament. This one figures to be, in my opinion, the game for the Southeastern District's top spot. No disrespect to your old school Nansemond River or Indian River or anybody else in Chesapeake or Suffolk, but I think these are the top 2. You have the Bruins too, Jack. These are the top 2 teams in the SED. Put it on the docket as a must-see matchup on the final Friday of October, as the Tigers will need it and want it to get a top seed in Region 6A. The Bulldogs will need it and want it to be no lower than, say, a 2 seed in Region 5B, where they have defending 2-time state champ Maury in their region, as well as Warwick, who we talked about, Nansemond River, and others. So this is a key game, and it comes late in the regular season. Good placement of the game, too.
Agree. I no problem with this game. Seeing on there, everything you say, I echo. A lot of good athletes on the field. Could go for the SED title. And Kings Fork has had some success against Oscar Smith. So
he echoes it.
It belongs.
That's good. Number 3 on the list, Maury at Highland Springs. It's Friday, September 13th. I'm sure Ed's wondering, how is this not number 1 on the list? Well, it's not in the 7-5-7, but that doesn't really take down points for it. They've played the last 2 years. A couple years ago in the state championship at Old Dominion, Highland Springs won that one behind Christian Martin, the quarterback who's now at Maryland. Commodores had a couple of key pieces hurt last year. Springers had a key defensive back hurt. Maury got revenge at Powhatan Field in Norfolk, which was really the breakout game for quarterback Altori Newkirk, the state player of the year, who just picked up an offer from William & Mary. This one figures to be a showdown that goes down to the wire. Maury, Highland Springs. It's a great matchup, but it comes in Richmond, and it's Game 2 for the Commodores. I think it's Game 3 for the Springers, believe it or not. Game 2 or 3 for the Springers.
You talk about athletes, here they are. Anybody knows anything about Virginia football, here's two teams always up in the standings every year. Definitely need this game in here, and this definitely be one to see. This should be a tough one to pick who wins. It's going to have to see what they look like.
I'm with you on that. This is a toss-up, more so than the last couple of years, because I felt like Highland Springs would win the state championship 2 years ago, and I felt like Maury would get revenge last year in Norfolk. The injuries aside, this year I think it's a toss-up game. It could be preseason number 1 Maury in Division 5 and preseason number 1 Highland Springs in Class 6. We shall see what the rankings dictate. Going to number 2, you say, how is this ahead of that one? Well, Phoebus Highland Springs, it's ahead of that one for this reason. Phoebus has the win streak going, and they've not played Highland Springs before, so the newness of this matchup, which we haven't seen before, puts it ahead. Not so much that Phoebus is any better than Maury or not any better. It's the newness, and it comes a week earlier, so the anticipation, the juice is a little up for it. It's a great game to see on number 2. The number 1 game is ahead of it on the same date, by the way. But Phoebus Highland Springs, I'm so fascinated to see the Phoebus defense against the Highland Springs offense, and that contrast, how that goes, that chess match between Jeremy Blunt and his coaches against Lauren Johnson and his staff. And even when you flip it to Phoebus' offense with a sophomore quarterback and Marika Spanks, who threw that game-winning touchdown pass, you recall, to win the state championship on the final play as a 9th grader against Coach Simmons' defense for Highland Springs, which will have guys flying around, including Lauren Johnson's son, Peanut, Brennan Johnson, the linebacker, who's 2-time state defensive player of the year. This ought to be a good one, even if it's a low-scoring 14-7 slobber knocker.
Yes, I agree with that. Boy, how about Highland Springs hosting Maury and Phoebus, playing 2 other state powers, but they got them both at home. That was it. That's a key right there. I think could be, again, you got to let some of the season go to see what happens on us, but I think that'll be a key for the Springers being at home.
So you saw 10 was Salem at Kempsville, 9 War Hill at Lafayette, 8 Green Run at Salem, 7 Hampton at Phoebus, 6 Oscar Smith at Indian River, 5 Warwick at Phoebus, 4 Kings Fork at Oscar Smith, 3 Maury at Highland Springs, 2 Phoebus at Highland Springs. What's number 1? Well, we'll do it next week. See you later. No, we're going to show it to you now. Number 1 is Wise of Maryland at Maury on that same date as number 2, Friday, September 6th. Wise last year, remember, they lost to Maury at home, but it was a tight ball game throughout. And you look at Wise's team up there from Upper Marlboro, it was maybe Maury's toughest test of the season as they went on in 23-24, the school year, to go 12-1. They won 12 straight games, including 21-0 in their final game of the year. And they actually pitched, Ed, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 shutouts after that 34-14 loss to Maury on September the 1st. And it ended up being them hoisting hardware, Maury hoisting hardware, going undefeated. And here we are, season opener at Powhatan Field in Norfolk. It's the week after the official season opener for most teams, but this ought to be a big-time matchup, and Wise wants revenge. Maury wants to open up 1-0 before key tilts with the Highland Springs and Dinwiddie to follow. If they're not careful, they could be 1-2, 0-3. But this is the one that I'm circling most, as this is the must-see matchup on the docket. 2 of the best, Maryland and Virginia, squaring off, and can VA represent with an out-of-state team venturing to the Commonwealth?
I think, answer that one, I think they will. I think Maury wins this game, but it won't be easy. And you're going to see, again, tons of athlete on Division I guys on the field when these two play. And it is an opening game, so be interested to see who has done what through the preseason. Here we go in the first game. You know, as you take the first 3 games of a football season, you fine-tune what you have, change some things around, and then you kind of get to the middle of that season where you really got to get going. And then, of course, at the end, playoff mode. So, and these are 2 teams that will go deep into their playoffs with the potential to win it. I still say Maury wins Division 5. And Wise has a great chance, obviously, in Maryland, too. So,
do you know the nickname for Wise, Henry Wise, what they're called? Do you know?
Is it something crazy?
It's the Pumas. The Pumas come down here. Not the shoe, but the Pumas come in to play the Commodores.
Pumas too much. All right.
There you have it.
Lions,
That's my
Tigers,
list.
and Bears.
And you're mad that Maury Dinwiddie did not make the list, but Kempsville-Salem did. I know you.
Well, yeah, when you had said it, and you just said it again earlier, they're going to play Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's a pretty good team, too. I thought that game should be on there. But, you got Maury and enough on there. You got Maury Highland Springs. You got Maury
I got Highland Springs twice. I got Phoebus 3 times, Maury twice, Smith twice, Green Run twice. I try not to do it. Salem actually made it twice. I didn't want to pick a team 3 or 4 times, although I picked Phoebus 3 times. And that was part of the reasoning. Plus, it's not the first week, it's the third week. So it'll be Maury's 1, 2, 3 games, which could, off quality, can easily be justified as a top 5 game. But I decided to go outside the box for that first week with the number 10 game. Give you something
based on
to
your
circle on week 1.
Based on your thinking, and I get what you have, I still want to say even though we're taking 2 local teams out of the way to put in 1 local team against an outside team, Dinwiddie Maury, still somehow would like to see that game in there. But, I'm not totally mad about it because your opening game was Kempsville and Salem, and it's the very first game of the year. So I'm going to give you fighting myself to say this. I'm going to give you an A for that.
Oh, it's because I'm A for awesome. I appreciate it.
I'm going to give you an A for that. I wanted to say B, C, but
thank you.
I'm going to give you an A. You did a little bit of homework there.
You, sir.
I'm going to give that
You're
to you.
not that bad a guy after all. Well, that's going to wrap up today's show. We thank all the guests and the interview clips you heard from Super E, Eric Rogers, as well as Darius Gray of St. Christopher's, Jordan Scott of South Lakes, Sebastian Whitfield from Cape Henry. If you missed anything on the show, it'll be up on our podcast page. We're available on Apple, Spotify. You can always hear it there. You can watch us on YouTube through Cova Sports TV, our X account, 757 Sports Talk on Twitter, or my at Hatfield Sports. IG, Hatfield Sports 2K4. We're streaming live there. Facebook, too, with the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach and the SportsPlex Facebook page. We want to thank Jack Lowe, Nick Senti, Chuck Thornton, our entire Cova Sports TV crew. And for the guy on the other side of the glass with the banner in the background and Dickie V with 500-plus career wins, Coach Ed Young, I am Matt Hatfield with the Malone Mailman jersey today, and I'm getting back in the pool to enjoy the rest of my weekend. And hope everyone has a safe and joyous Independence Day holiday. Do not play with fireworks. Be careful out there on the highways and byways, wherever you are, all across our great state of Virginia, or if you're watching all over the world outside of our Commonwealth of VA. You got any not fireworks plans, but any 4th of July plans there, sir?
I'm hoping I'm grilling somewhere. I need somebody to invite me to their cookout for some. I don't do hot dogs. I ain't touching no hot dog, but boy, I kill some burgers and some chicken breast grilled. Ooh, boy, I'm good. I'm good.
We'll talk to you next week in July right here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk as the countdown to the start of football rages on right here on Cova Sports TV. Have a great weekend, everyone, and a happy holiday, too.